Chapter 135. The master shook his head secretly. Zhu Zhuqing had done a good job. She had tried her best to avoid the third party's attack. Compared to Dai Mubai's choice, it was more sensible. However, it was obviously useless against the control type. Unless she could teleport in front of Tang San and defeat him in an instant, it was impossible to completely escape the third party's control by just dodging. However, what was interesting was that Zhu Zhuqing did not seem to attack the third party. This made the master quite puzzled. Even if she dodged the third party's attack, the third party had revealed a few flaws just now, and Zhu Zhuqing did not seize the opportunity. Logically speaking, she would not let go of these opportunities, although they might be the third party's deliberate flaws. Among everyone, perhaps only Wang Feng knew what Zhu Zhuqing was planning. Zhu Zhuqing, who was hiding in the corner, did not have any space to dodge in the face of the entire square of blue silver grass. Fine. Tang San still stood in the same spot and said in a deep voice. He was also a little puzzled by Zhu Zhuqing's behavior, but he did not think too much about it. The last vine attacked Zhu Zhuqing, but at this moment, Zhu Zhuqing's cold and elegant cheeks curved into a rare arc, as if she was smiling. It was the first time they had seen Zhu Zhuqing smile since they entered the academy. It could be said that she was beautiful and moving. The next moment, several rays of light suddenly flashed in Zhu Zhuqing's sharp claws, as if something had shot out toward the sky of blue silver grass in the square. And that is... The master's pupils shrank slightly. Wisps of fire slowly lit up from the blue-silver grass that filled the sky. Like a spark that could start a prairie fire, the originally huge amount of blue-silver grass in the square was somehow ignited. And, in an instant, the whole square was burned at a speed visible to the naked eye. The fire soared to the sky. Everyone was stunned on the spot. Even Tang San was a little stunned. Zhu Zhuqing jumped lightly onto the attacking vines. Stepping on the vines, she nimbly dodged the attack. This vine that had spread over was set ablaze almost as soon as it got close to her. At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing suddenly leapt high into the air. Her feet stepped on the soft blue-silver grass that was about to be melted by the flames. He didn't know what clothes she was wearing, but her shoes weren't on fire. In addition, she was extremely fast. She passed through the sky and the blue-silver grass in the square and attacked Tang San with just a few leaps. Netherworld stab. Zhu Zhuqing shouted. Not good. Tang San knew something was wrong. Once the agility type got close to him, it would be hard for him to dodge unless he used a hidden weapon. However, he was restricted from using concealed weapons. I was careless. I should have used the spiderweb from the start instead of just using bind. She purposely didn't attack me because she wanted me to use bind so that she could create such a large-scale fire. I can't use my blue-silver grass. Tang San sighed in his heart. He already had a few experiences with Zhu Zhuqing, so he didn't plan to use the spiderweb and use bind instead. Now, he couldn't use it. He didn't expect that at the last moment, he would be killed by Zhu Zhuqing. The square was filled with flames, so he couldn't use the advantage of the spiderweb at all. Moreover, he didn't have the space to use his blue-silver grass. Even if he forcibly used the spiderweb, he wouldn't be able to resist a close-range attack. At most, both sides would be injured. However, he was a Soul Elder. If he fought a rank 27 Soul Grandmaster and both sides were injured, he would be the one to lose. With a schwa sound, Zhu Zhuqing's black shadow flashed, and her sharp fingertips landed on Tang San's neck. The whole square was incomparably silent. Everyone looked at this scene with incomparable astonishment. Everyone except Wang Feng was dumbfounded. It was as if there were countless questions. How did Zhu Zhuqing do it? After a long time, it wasn't until the blue-silver grass in the square was completely burned that everyone came back to their senses. All of them stared at Zhu Zhuqing. Even Flinder and Zhao Wuji, who were watching from afar, were dumbfounded. At this moment, the master walked to the square as if he was looking for something or sniffing something. After a moment, he walked over and looked at Zhu Zhuqing seriously, his eyes flashing. Not bad, not bad, not bad. 3 not bad in a row. One could imagine the shock in the master's heart and the admiration in his eyes. "Master, how did Zhu Zhuqing do it?" Oscar and the others walked over and clicked their tongues. Tang Sen also looked at Zhu Zhuqing, his eyes full of doubts. Could it be that he used those two things? Oscar exclaimed as he mumbled. He was a food-type soul master, so he could roughly guess some clues. Zhu Zhuqing didn't say anything. Instead, the master closed his eyes as if he was recalling. This battle is very classic. It's enough to be written in textbooks. To put it simply, Zhu Zhuqing took advantage of Tang San's carelessness and covered the entire square with blue silver grass. In the end, the square was filled with fire. At this time, Tang San was no longer able to use his soul skill because the fire was too big. No matter how tough his blue silver grass was, it couldn't pass through the fire and pose any threat to Zhu Zhuqing. Zhu Zhuqing's shoes and trousers should be specially made for fire prevention. Therefore, she could rely on her extremely fast speed to step on the unmelted blue-silver grass and quickly pass through the fire to give the shocked Tang San a fatal blow. At this point, the master looked at Zhu Zhuqing with indescribable admiration in his eyes. The key to this is probably your biggest doubt. How did Zhu Zhuqing start the fire? Even I didn't think of this. It wasn't until I observed the square that I was surprised to find that it was caused by two very ordinary and even very common things. Hearing this, everyone's hearts itched. Tang Sen was smart and seemed to have guessed something. He couldn't help but look at Zhu Zhuqing in admiration. Zhu Zhuqing, "Master, what exactly is it?" Xiao Wu asked anxiously. The master looked at Zhu Zhuqing with a satisfied smile in his eyes. "It's flint and grease." Flint is an ordinary tool used by shop owners to start a fire. It has a very high temperature, and sparks can be produced with a light tap. Grease is used for cooking and will ignite when it comes into contact with fire. When Zhu Zhuqing was dodging just now, she secretly sprinkled the grease on the blue-silver grass. In the end, after she possessed her martial soul, she tapped several flint stones with her claws that were comparable to fine iron and sent them into the blue-silver grass. Relying on the grease, she quickly ignited the blue-silver grass and then spread it to the entire square. The fire covered the sky. I guess you've been simulating this battle in your mind for a long time, right? You're also well prepared, right? After saying this, the master looked at Zhu Zhuqing. He felt a little admiration for this girl. He didn't expect to be able to see such an exceptionally exciting battle. Zhu Zhuqing was silent for a moment and nodded. After hearing this, everyone fell silent. Wang Feng, who was standing at the side, also felt a little emotional. Zhu Zhuqing was a smart girl. He had given her some advice the night before. She actually used what she had learned, and the effect was very good. Zhu Zhuqing's battle strategy wins in one word: strange. The master continued. Control-type soul masters are very good at restraining agility-type soul masters, and most of them are related to plants. She was able to think of flint and grease and make use of her characteristics as an agility-type soul master to restrain a control-type soul master. This is very rare. In a chapter. Chapter 136. Wow, Zhuqing, why are you so smart? I was killed, Xiao Wu said. That's right. I thought you had twin martial souls. Damn, I didn't expect it to be these two little things. Ma Hongjun also scratched his head in surprise. Dai Mubai looked at Zhu Zhuqing and didn't know what to say for a moment. He lost because of Tang San's injury, but she actually defeated him. Dai Mubai was ashamed and impressed. Someone told me. At this time, Zhu Zhuqing opened her mouth. Her voice was as cold as ever. He said that on the battlefield, apart from martial souls, we can use many other things to obstruct the enemy. There's no such thing as absolute restraint in this world. Even if we use our inconspicuous gadgets well, they can still be of great use. He also said that we need to have divergent thinking and not be obsessed with the power of our martial souls. Sometimes, a little thing can be infinitely magnified in different people's hands. And he taught me how to use flint and grease. After Zhu Zhuqing finished speaking, everyone fell silent. It was rare for Zhu Zhuqing to say so much. They could imagine that she was obviously a little excited after defeating Tang San, but she didn't express it clearly. They didn't expect that someone taught Zhu Zhuqing the ingenious idea of defeating Tang San's blue silvergrass. The master's eyes lit up. Good, good, good. Well said. The master was a little excited. These words seem ordinary, but they are full of philosophy. Is the person who spoke your teacher? Zhu Zhuqing shook her head and looked at Wang Feng. It was Wang Feng who taught me. Concise and comprehensive. As soon as she said that, in an instant, the whole city was dead silent. Wang Feng, don't say it. Why did you say it? Wang Feng broke out in a cold sweat. She's really straightforward. If you say it like that, how can I pretend to be cool in the future? Countless gazes were focused on Wang Feng. Big brother Feng, did you really come up with this? Tang San looked at Wang Feng and suddenly realized something. If it was Big brother Feng who came up with it, Tang San could understand. Brother Feng's brain had been different since he was young. The master also looked at Wang Feng and Zhu Zhuqing. He seemed to have understood something. Sort of. Seeing that everyone was looking at him, Wang Feng knew that he probably couldn't hide it anymore. I only told her about this method. As for the rest, many of the details of this battle were thought up by her alone. Wang Feng did not mention many details about the battle, such as Zhu Zhuqing's fire-resistant boots and long pants. It was probably Zhu Zhuqing who figured it out herself. Zhuqing, when did Wang Feng tell you this? Ning Rongrong asked in a strange tone. The night before yesterday, we went to the Great Soul Arena. Zhu Zhuqing was an honest person. Maybe she felt that there was nothing to hide, so she told them about her battle with another soul master in the Great Soul Arena that day. She didn't know about Wang Feng's battle and didn't mention a word. Wang Feng said it very well. The master nodded slowly. Indeed, in the early stage, this is indeed one of the few effective methods you can use to deal with control-type soul masters. Night? You went to the Great Soul Arena at night. Ning Rongrong was a little dazed. Dai Mubai was silent for a moment, sighed softly, and didn't say anything more. The two were originally a team, so it was normal for them to go to the Great Soul Arena. Only Ning Rongrong thought too much, and the rest didn't think much about it. They were more amazed by this special method. Yes, I came back early after fighting with him. Zhu Zhuqing glanced at Wang Feng. That night, who was he fighting under the Great Soul Arena? Who was he fighting? That roar. Zhu Zhuqing felt that it was at least a soul master above level 50. Well, you can remember the core of this battle. The master said lightly, many ordinary things that may be around us can play a great role. As for the specifics, it depends on how you think. You have to learn more from Wang Feng and Zhu Zhuqing. Next, Mubai, you prepare to fight with Ma Hongjun and Oscar and Zhu Zhuqing. You cooperate with Ning Rongrong later. Tang San, you and Xiao Wu this time. After the master finished speaking, everyone began to fight again. In the square, the sky and the earth were split. When they finished fighting, you prepare later. The master looked at the battle in the square and walked to Wang Feng. Wang Feng, prepare what? Didn't I just watch the battle? Vaguely, Wang Feng had an ominous premonition. After a while, the battle was over. Dai Mubai didn't fight the combination of Oscar and Ma Hongjun. Tang San also didn't fight Xiao Wu. Facing Zhu Zhuqing, he held back, not to mention facing Xiao Wu. He directly fell for Xiao Wu's charm. However, the two of them secretly showed off their affection. They were tied together and fell down. And Xiao Wu's third soul skill was also revealed. It was teleportation. With the soul ring of the 1,000-year lightning rabbit, she could teleport within a short distance. It was very effective against the control-type Tang San. However, in the end, the two of them were bound by Tang San's third soul skill, spiderweb binding, and fell down. After the battle, everyone rested at the side. The master said in a deep voice, in these battles, except for the battle between Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San, you all disappointed me. Dai Mubai, you knew that Oscar had auxiliary abilities. Why didn't you defeat him first? You even let him feed Ma Hongjun grilled sausages? Is an auxiliary type soul master more difficult to deal with than an assault type soul master? Ma Hongjun and Oscar, don't be complacent. When Oscar's mushroom sausages disappeared and fell down, why didn't you grab Ma Hongjun? Ma Hongjun, why didn't you grab him? Why did you expose him to the enemy's attack range? The master listed everyone's shortcomings as if he was very familiar with them. Peng-san, do you know why you lost? In the first battle with Zhu Zhuqing, although Zhu Zhuqing's design was ingenious, the gap between your soul power was too big. If you directly used spiderweb at the beginning, she might not have been able to break it. Spiderweb covered a large area and was tougher. Don't you know this? Teacher, I was careless. But you were careless the first time. In the second battle with Xiao Wu, you fell for her charm as soon as you came up. Careless again. Your fault is bigger than theirs. Xiao Wu, your third soul skill is teleportation, which can be said to be very effective against Tang-san. However, when you use teleportation and waist bow to secure the victory, why did you let down your guard? Did you give Tang-san a chance to fight back? The 7 of them lower their heads. The master said in a deep voice, "You are from the Monster Academy, a team. But now, looking at the quality you have shown, I don't see the ability that the word monster should have. Other than your martial soul and soul power, you're not much different from those soul masters outside. You might not even be able to defeat many experienced soul masters who have been fighting soul beasts for a long time. Is this what a monster is? Today, you should be punished. Outside the academy, I prepared a basket of stones for the 7 of you. Originally, I wanted you to carry the stones and run 10 laps from the academy to Soto City." As he spoke, everyone lowered their heads slightly. The punishment was very severe, but they had nothing to say. But at this moment, the master changed the topic and said indifferently, "But now, I will give you a chance to avoid punishment." All of a sudden, everyone was stunned. Chance? What chance? In a chapter. Chapter 137. Looking at the curious crowd, for some reason, Wang Feng, who had been watching the battle, felt his heart skip a beat. Not good. Do you know why I classified Lin Feng as a single level yesterday? At this time, the master slowly looked at the crowd. His next sentence stunned everyone, because the goal I set for you in the future, or the ultimate goal, is to use all means to defeat him. Everyone. Wang Feng. Master, don't mess around. Do you want me to become a merciless training machine? Master, are we going to fight with Brother Feng again now? But none of us can defeat Brother Feng. Moreover, we have no soul power. Xiao Wu pouted and said. Everyone nodded quickly. They were well aware of this point. Everyone? The master glanced at everyone and said lightly, I mean, 7 of you will fight Wang Feng together, not one. 7 of you. This is the ultimate goal I mentioned. The master's plain tone instantly aroused the competitiveness in everyone's heart. Are you kidding me? 7 people? Can't defeat one? They knew that none of them could defeat Wang Feng if they fought him alone. Even Tang-san didn't have any confidence. Even if he used hidden weapons, he didn't have any confidence. No, there was no chance of winning at all. What? Don't you agree with what I said? The master smiled. The master rarely smiled. Tang-san rarely saw the master, and Wang Feng rarely saw the master smile. However, this smile made Wang Feng feel uneasy. Wang Feng had guessed something from yesterday's classification. Today, especially when the master called him out again. When he was ready, Wang Fengshin's heart skipped a beat. He knew it was true. Then, the 7 of you will fight with Wang Feng. If you win, your punishment will be waived, and Wang Feng will take over your punishment alone. The master said lightly. Moreover, there are restrictions. Wang Feng can't use soul skills. If you can force him to use soul skills, he will lose. The 7 people suddenly burst into an uproar. Isn't he looking down on us too much? Anyway, we are 7 monsters. If we can't use soul skills, we can't win? Is this a joke? The 7 of them blushed at the Grandmaster's words. Although they all admired Wang Feng, even Dai Mubai, who was the boss, admired Wang Feng very much, and even feared him. However, even 7 of them couldn't defeat Wang Feng, who didn't even use any soul skills. Moreover, if he won, the punishment would be waived. This almost reignited everyone's confidence and excitement. At this moment, the originally tired crowd's fighting spirit immediately soared. Let's fight then. I don't believe that the 7 of us can't defeat Wang Feng. Ma Hongjun chuckled and stepped forward. Wang Feng, don't blame me for being impolite later. I don't believe I'll be punished. Not using soul skills? Ma Hongjun knew that Wang Feng's red lotus could absorb fire, which was a natural counter to him. But if they didn't use their soul skills, and there were still 7 of them, he. Big brother Feng, I won't show any mercy, Tang San said in a low voice as he stepped forward. He wasn't sure how strong Big brother Feng was right now. Big brother Feng with 3 soul rings, using his physical body to face the Zhuge divine crossbow head-on. Tang San understood why Grandmaster did this first. Wang Feng, you're finished. Ning Rongrong stepped forward with a smile. You'll be beaten up later. Although she was smiling, she was a little worried in her heart. Big brother Feng, we're very familiar with each other. Be gentle later. Xiao Wu also skipped forward. Wang Feng, it's a pity that you can't eat my big sausage this time, Oscar said with a smile. Ahem, Wang Feng, we'll be a little gentle. Dai Mubai coughed a few times. I don't know why Grandmaster wants to have such an extremely unfair battle. He doesn't even let you use a single soul skill. It seems like you really can't use them. Dai Mubai seemed to know how powerful Wang Feng's soul skills were, so he hurriedly changed his words halfway. Be careful. Zhu Zhuqing was the last to step forward. She was silent, and her words were simple. Wang Feng shrugged and thought, I should be the one showing mercy, right? You're still showing mercy? Grandmaster's face stiffened. He seemed to have seen through Wang Feng's thoughts and said indifferently, since that's the case, I'll shorten the time within 3 minutes. If the battle between you two exceeds 3 minutes, it'll be considered Wang Feng's loss. Wang Feng, 3 minutes, 160 seconds. It was very short time. It was impossible to slack off. Wang Feng was speechless. It seemed that he had to use his real strength. After Grandmaster finished speaking, he walked to the side. At this time, Frank and Zhao Wuji were also outside the square, seemingly watching. What the hell is Grandmaster doing? He doesn't let Wang Feng use his soul skills, and even limited it to 3 minutes? Zhao Wuji said awkwardly, I can't deal with these 7 little bastards, even if you want me to. On the day of the recruitment, Zhao Wuji was defeated by Tang San and the others. Flinder frowned slightly and felt a little surprised. Grandmaster's first day of intensive special training was really an eye-opener for them. Grandmaster is very smart. Wang Feng's strength is far beyond the others. But the 7 of them have a lot of shortcomings. So Grandmaster let the 7 of them fight first, and then tell them their shortcomings after the fight, so that they won't make the same mistake again later. Then, he used Wang Feng to help them consolidate the shortcomings. Finally, he used punishment as a condition and restricted Wang Feng's soul skills to arouse their competitiveness and unwillingness, and their fighting spirit will increase greatly. This battle is a test for the 7 of them. It's also a test for Wang Feng. Grandmaster is really smart. Flinder praised. The older the ginger, the spicier it is. Arrange them clearly. Zhao Wuji scratched his head. Was there such a roundabout way? It's really hard for me, the immovable Wisdom King. This battle is worth watching. Flinder was in high spirits, looking at the few people in the square who had already set up a battle array. In the square, Wang Feng, your golden lotus should have the effect of recovering soul power, right? At this time, Grandmaster suddenly said, You won't be able to use your soul power later. Why don't you replenish it for them? Hearing this, everyone was stunned. Except for Tang San and Xiao Wu. Everyone was stunned. Wang Feng's auxiliary ability was already extremely comprehensive. Could he still recover soul power? Wang Feng, have I become a tool? Wang Fengxin secretly thought, but he didn't refuse. This was the first time he officially fought with the future Shrek's 7 monsters, right? Wang Feng was naturally clear about Grandmaster's plan. To be precise, he had already guessed it. So, he was mentally prepared. The golden lotus suddenly appeared, and 7 rays of light poured into the bodies of the 7 people. Dozens of seconds later, the 7 of them finished recovering. They all looked at Wang Feng in horror. Soul power is completely recovered. Oscar felt the gushing soul power in his body and couldn't believe it. Although his grilled sausages could recover soul power, the recovery was very slow. It was impossible for the 7 of them to fully recover in dozens of seconds, and it was unlikely for them to recover in an hour. The rest of the people looked at Wang Feng in shock. Finished recovering? Into this chapter. Chapter 138. The master was slightly startled. Wang Feng's golden lotus could restore soul power. He had heard from Tang San and Xiao Wu at Nodding Academy. He thought it would be good if he could restore 1/5 of the current 7 people's soul power. He didn't expect them to recover completely. How were they going to fight later? If the 7 of them had full soul power, the balance of the battle would tilt to one side. The master frowned. This was beyond his expectations. Okay, come on. Wang Feng walked to the square and looked at the 7 people in front of him. Hearing Wang Feng's words, everyone looked at each other and a glimmer of light flashed in their eyes. Begin. The moment the master's voice fell, the field erupted. 7 people. The first to move was naturally Wang Feng. Wang Feng instantly disappeared on the spot and went directly to Ning Rongrong. Support-type soul masters were definitely the first to be eliminated on the battlefield because they could apply buffs. As long as they didn't die, their buffs would remain. Speed. Extremely fast. Everyone hadn't noticed it yet. Tang San didn't even have time to use bind to stop him. Wang Feng had already appeared beside Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong was so scared that her face turned pale. The glazed pagoda in her hand hadn't spun yet. At this moment, it seemed that Tang San had already reacted. He didn't choose to use bind. Instead, he used bind to Ning Rongrong in an instant, just like how Zhao Wuji attacked Ning Rongrong first. He instantly wrapped around Ning Rongrong and pulled her out of the battlefield. The blue-silver grass directly rose from Ning Rongrong's feet and quickly lifted her into the air. Wang Feng directly pounced on empty air. Haha, this kid, Tang San, is still experienced. You must know that Wang Feng will deal with the support first. Zhao Wuji laughed. Ning Rongrong's 7 treasures glazed pagoda has begun to spin. Yes. The moment Ning Rongrong was pulled up by the blue-silver grass, she reacted quickly. She knew that she had to give 2 buffs to her teammates immediately. This way, their chances of winning would be greatly increased. 7 treasures glazed pagoda. First sun. But just as Ning Rongrong finished reciting the incantation, there was still one more word to go. Suddenly, he cried out in alarm. His throat seemed to have been hit by something, and his incantation was instantly cut off. With the incantation broken, he naturally couldn't use his soul skill. Everyone was stunned. However, he happened to see Wang Feng holding several stones between his fingers. As it turned out, Wang Feng had aimed the stone at Ning Rongrong's throat the moment he missed. It was just an ordinary rock that could be seen everywhere in the plaza, but it easily interrupted Ning Rongrong's soul skill. It was like a scarecrow that was about to jump, but was stopped abruptly by an ice arrow. All right. The master couldn't help but agree. This kid was too smart. No wonder he could think of using flint and grease to counter a control-type soul master like Tang San. He was really drawing on local resources. Ning Rongrong's throat had been broken in one move, and her voice had become hoarse. They were speechless. Even with all their soul power, they couldn't use it. Dai Mubai, Zhu Zhuqing, Ma Hongjun, which one of you is going to restrain Brother Feng? He's very fast, but if the 3 of you work together, we can definitely restrain him. At this moment, Tang San shouted, Xiao Wu, use teleportation to protect Oscar and let him quickly make the roasted sausages. Hurry up and restore Ning Rongrong's health. Hearing this, the 3 of them immediately moved. But at this moment, Oscar suddenly shouted, Ning Rongrong, catch! When Wang Feng attacked just now, I had already made the roasted sausages. He didn't have time to interrupt me. As he spoke, he threw the roasted sausages at Ning Rongrong, who was caught in the air by the blue-silver grass. Oscar's reaction was also very fast. The moment he saw Wang Feng rushing towards Ning Rongrong, he directly chanted the incantation and made the roasted sausages. Wang Feng couldn't possibly have a clone, could he? At the same time, Dai Mubai, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ma Hongjun attacked Wang Feng in a flash. Bastard Wang Feng, how dare you attack me first? Ning Rongrong glared at Wang Feng, feeling very wronged. But she admired the other party for being so quick-witted as to interrupt her incantation. Without the use of soul power, a single pebble was enough to render him temporarily useless. However, Ning Rongrong snorted at the sight of the roasted sausages flying at her. Wait until I eat the roasted sausages and recover. Then I'll teach you a lesson. Seeing the roasted sausages flying at her, Ning Rongrong hurriedly reached out to catch them. But right at this moment, swish! Another sound pierced the air. The roasted sausages were instantly sent flying. It was a pebble again. Ning Rongrong, Tang San Oscar, the others, in the distance, Flinder and Zhao Wuji, it's not that easy to eat the roasted sausages. Have you asked me for the stone in my hand? Wang Feng said slowly. He didn't use soul power or martial soul, and only relied on his physical fitness to deal with 7 monsters at full health. If he also had the 7 treasures Glazed Pagoda and Oscar's recovery sausages, it would be too easy for them to stall for 3 minutes. Therefore, he could only use his strong physical fitness to forcefully create a long-range attack. This technique wasn't like Tang San's powerful hidden weapon techniques, so it was very easy. The stone wasn't very powerful and could only block 2 support players, but it was enough. At this moment, Dai Mubai and the other 2 came to pin him down. White Tiger's fierce light wave. An intense beam of light shot towards Wang Feng. Wang Feng leaped lightly and easily dodged it. At the same time, Netherworld stab. An enchanting figure appeared behind Wang Feng, and the cold light from her claws seemed to be able to cut through a tree. Wang Feng tilted his body slightly and grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's arm. He activated Reverse Heaven and Earth, and with his back against Zhu Zhuqing, he was about to throw her out. Reverse Heaven and Earth was a special technique that required the user to activate their soul power and borrow the enemy's strength to counterattack. But at this moment, countless strands of blue-silver grass appeared under Wang Feng's feet and instantly trapped Wang Feng's hands. It made it difficult for Wang Feng to throw Zhu Zhuqing out. Instead, he was trapped. Obviously, Dai Mubai and Zhu Zhuqing didn't really attack her. It was just a distraction to give Tang San a chance to control her. This cooperation was undeniable. Next, Phoenix Fireline. Almost at the same moment, Wang Feng was trapped. Ma Hongjuan's Phoenix possession shot a pillar of fire at Wang Feng. But at this moment, Wang Feng smiled strangely and grabbed Zhu Zhuqing's arm, and directly lifted Zhu Zhuqing from behind. In an instant, Ma Hongjun staggered and hurriedly moved his mouth to the left, barely avoiding Zhu Zhuqing, who was in front of Wang Feng. If he spat it over, Zhu Zhuqing would be the one burned. The flames directly burned the blue-silver grass beside Wang Feng. Seeing this, everyone was stunned. This attack that took a lot of effort to form was completely broken by Wang Feng without any effort. Good. These few moves are enough for these guys to learn for a while. The master at the side was rather excited. This Wang Feng knows that Ma Hongjun won't use his soul skill on his companions, so he purposely blocked Zhu Zhuqing in front of him, so he could only move a little and burn the blue-silver grass created by Little 3, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. On the battlefield, Wang Feng lightly tapped Zhu Zhuqing's back, causing her to instantly go limp and numb. She fell to the ground and lost her ability to fight. Just now, if we were fighting side by side, would you have done the same? At this moment, Zhu Zhuqing, who had fallen to the ground, looked at Wang Feng, who was about to leave, and suddenly asked softly. Wang Feng was startled and laughed. If you were fighting side by side with me, do you think you would be hurt at all? After saying that, Wang Feng attacked Tang San in the distance. Along the way, a few stones hit the grilled sausages made by Oscar. Zhu Zhuqing. Everyone still needs to vote more. End of this chapter. Chapter 139. Zhu Zhuqing had lost her ability to fight, and there were still 6 people left. Of the remaining 6 people, except for the 2 support type and the other 3, they were not easy to deal with. Dai Mubai's soul power was the highest, and his defense was the strongest, so he could not use the same method to deal with Zhu Zhuqing. It was the same for Ma Hongjun. As for Xiao San and Xiao Wu, it was the same. With their physical fitness, if they did not think of a special method within 3 minutes, they would definitely be dragged over. For example, Oscar's mushroom sausage could last for 1 minute. If Wang Feng did not use stones to hit his mushroom sausage, everyone would fly for 1 minute. After all, he could not fly. He could easily drag it out for 3 minutes. And if they wanted to eat Oscar's mushroom sausage, they would have to get close to Oscar and not give Wang Feng a chance to hit his mushroom sausage with stones. But this way, Wang Feng could wipe them all out. So, logically speaking, Wang Feng's next target should be Oscar. Because at least if he attacked Oscar, the remaining Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, Tang San, and Xiao would go to rescue him. But Wang Feng was going to Tang San. Grandmaster did not understand this point. He, who had been paying attention to the battlefield at all times, could not understand why Wang Feng's next target would be Tang San. As a long-range control type, Tang San was the most difficult to deal with on the battlefield. In the team, he had teammates who were responsible for restraining and covering him, and he also had powerful control skills. It was very difficult to defeat Tang San immediately, and if he defeated the 2 support type and then defeated Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun, then Wang Feng had great speed and could dodge Tang San's blue-silver grass at any time. For Wang Feng, Tang San would be defeated by himself. It was just that there might not be enough time, but at least there was a chance. But if he rushed directly to Tang San, he still had teammates to restrain him. It was impossible to end in a short time. Grandmaster frowned slightly and vaguely felt strange. Was it a feint? A diversion? Wang Feng, you did name your next target at Oscar, but it's actually me. In the square, Tang San was slightly surprised, but he did not relax at all. Boss Dai Fatty, stop him. Xiao Wu, Wang Feng might be pretending to attack me. Don't do anything. You must be near Oscar. Tang San also guessed that Wang Feng might be pretending to attack him, but his actual target was Oscar. Not bad. The master nodded slightly. It seemed that Tang San wanted to use Dai Mubai and Ma Hongjun's distraction to buy him time to release the binding spiderweb. Binding spiderweb required a certain amount of time to cast to maximize its range and effect. Just like how Tang San first entangled Dai Mubai and then took the opportunity to cast a spiderweb. However, it was obviously impossible for Tang San to entangle Wang Feng here, because Wang Feng was too fast. He was even faster than Zhu Zhuqing. Therefore, they could only rely on the strength of their companions to hold him back and give Tang San time to cast the cobweb binding. I have to stall for time. Even if Brother Feng can break free from the binding spiderweb, come in front of me and defeat me. But next, he will be facing Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Xiao Wu, 3 assault-type soul masters. At that time, he will only have 1 minute at most. Tang San's mind flashed as he thought. Wang Feng can't defeat 3 people in 1 minute. Assault-type soul masters, especially those with beast martial souls, had physical strength, endurance, and defense. Especially Dai Mubai, it was almost impossible to make him lose his ability to fight in a short time. Dai Mubai directly rushed in front of Wang Feng. From the beginning, when Wang Feng rushed towards Ning Rongrong, he used the White Tiger's Vajra transformation to double his attributes. Obviously, Dai Mubai did not plan to use any other soul skills this time. He planned to use his fists to stop Wang Feng. Ma Hongjun, on the other hand, covered him. If you want to defeat Tang San, you have to defeat me first. Dai Mubai punched towards Wang Feng. Ma Hongjun, on the other hand, spat out rings of fire to restrict Wang Feng's range of movement. After using the Phoenix's possession, he used the Phoenix Fireline. Although the power of the Phoenix Fireline increased, the casting time was not fast. If Wang Feng was not entangled, he would not have a chance to hit Wang Feng. Therefore, he could only set the ground around Wang Feng ablaze to reduce the space Wang Feng could dodge to obstruct Wang Feng. When Wang Feng saw the fist coming towards him, he did not hesitate and punched out with his own fist. Even if he did not use his soul power, the quality of his body was many times stronger than when he first met Dai Mubai. Boom! A shockwave exploded in the air. Dai Mubai was like a flowing light as he was sent flying over 100 meters away. Wang Feng did not move. After sending Dai Mubai flying with his fist, he attacked Tang San again. However, he was only sent flying. Dai Mubai did not lose his ability to fight. His defense was very strong. In addition, he had fought head-on just now. In terms of endurance, Dai Mubai was the strongest among the 7 of them. However, he could not stop Wang Feng in a short period of time. Wang Feng rushed through the line of fire and quickly attacked Tang San. His speed was so fast that it made one's hair stand on end. "Fatty, get out of the way." Ma Hongjun was still not far in front of Tang San. He was stunned. He should be able to block Wang Feng. Why did he ask him to get out of the way? Hurry up. Brother Feng's speed and strength are too strong. You can't block him for more than a few seconds. Save your strength and let him come over. I have a way. Tang San said in a deep voice. Wang Feng's speed and strength were far beyond Tang San's imagination. He sent Dai Mubai, who was in the form of the Vajra White Tiger, flying over 100 meters with one punch. This was completely beyond Tang San's expectations. Ma Hongjun dodged. Although he did not know why Tang San did this, he must have his reasons. Tang San's face was slightly gloomy. He looked at Wang Feng, who was still dozens of meters away from him. At this distance, Brother Feng would be in front of him in the blink of an eye. My binding spider web might not be able to completely release Brother Feng. Then this was the only way. Tang San, is he trying to release the binding spider web with himself as the center? Seeing this, Master thought to himself, that's a wise choice. Wang Feng is too fast. The time taken by the 2 of them is not enough for him to release the binding spider web to deal with Wang Feng. Tang San is a control-type soul master. No matter how good his body technique is, it will be difficult for him to resist Wang Feng's attack when Wang Feng gets close to him. But if he releases the binding spiderweb with himself as the center, he will have a chance to release it. Because there is no distance limit, the time will be greatly reduced. Tang San's ghost shadow perplexing track was exquisite. He could use the purple demon eyes to quickly see the enemy's movements and dodge the attack. However, in terms of speed and agility, even Zhu Zhuqing, who was an agility-type soul master, was no match for him. Wang Feng was too fast. Even if Tang San's purple demon eyes could detect some of Wang Feng's movements, his ghost shadow perplexing track could not react in time. In other words, his brain could react, but his body was not strong enough to support his reaction. Although Tang San's physical fitness was strong, it was far inferior to Wang Feng's. Just like the battle between Zhu Zhuqing and him just now, Zhu Zhuqing's short-range combat soul skill, Netherworld Stab, had greatly increased her speed. Tang San did not use the ghost shadow perplexing track because he knew his physical fitness. Even if he used it at that time, it was impossible for him to completely dodge it. The best result was nothing more than to use controlling crane, capturing dragon, and both sides would be injured. But he would still lose in this way. End of this chapter. Chapter 140. Spiderweb Binding. Tang San shouted in a low voice. With himself as the center, he looked at Wang Feng, who was almost within reach. After brewing for a long time, he finally used his 3rd soul skill. The halo that was brewing in his hand was thrown directly above him. Countless small and tougher vines spread crazily from above the 2 of them, forming a spider web. In an instant, both of them were trapped in it. Because Wang Feng's speed was too fast, Tang San didn't have time to release it from a distance, but he had a chance to release it above him. Although he had paid the price of being trapped as well, he had managed to bind Wang Feng as well. Brother Feng, even if you break free from my spiderweb binding, you will also be poisoned by my spiderweb vines and ghosting spikes. Tang San looked at Wang Feng, who was only one body away from him, and said with a smile, with 2 poisons added together, Even Dai Mubai won't be able to hold on for long. With your physical fitness, even if you can hold on for a long time, your physical fitness will gradually decline, but you still need to fight against 3 assault-type soul masters. And now, almost 2 minutes have passed. Within a minute, you have been poisoned by 2 of my poisons, and you still want to defeat 3 soul masters. It's unrealistic. Tang San's words sounded softly. Xiao San, well done. Although you trapped him, you still released the spiderweb binding. The master in the distance couldn't help but nod. Tang San was right. No matter how strong Wang Feng's physical fitness was, it was impossible to avoid these poisons without using soul power and martial soul, and there was no chance for him to recover. Even if he could hold on, there were still 3 assault-type soul masters. Even if he didn't get poisoned by 2 poisons, he might not be able to defeat 3 people in a minute. And Tang San's choice could be said to be the best choice. There was no other choice. Sure enough, this kind of battle can make people grow. A smile appeared in the master's eyes. In the battle with Wang Feng, the master clearly felt that the cooperation of these 7 people had gone up a level. Many of their shortcomings had also been changed. Among them, Tang San, as a long-range control-type soul master, didn't need to fight in close range and had enough time to think. As a commander, he was the most suitable. In a team, it was impossible to not have a commander. Seeing this scene, the remaining people finally revealed smiles. Boss Dai Ma Hongjun, quick, come and eat the mushroom sausage and grilled sausage. Recover. When you guys fight with them later, you should be able to last for at least a minute. Oscar quickly took advantage of the time when Wang Feng was bound by the spider web to throw the cooked sausages to the 2 people in the distance. Dai Mubai stood up from 100 meters away. Seeing this, he heaved a sigh of relief. Big Brother Feng, no matter how smart you are, the scales of victory are still on our side. Xiao Wu stood vigilantly around Oscar. When she saw that Wang Feng was indeed attacking Tang San, she finally breathed a sigh of relief. She was really afraid that Brother Feng would use some strange method to hurt Oscar. When Ma Hongjun and Oscar first received the grilled sausages, rumble, Wang Feng, who was at the center of the spiderweb, had already broken free from its bindings. However, there were fine wounds all over his arm. They were very fine, very fine. It was obvious that his body's defense was very strong. However, just as Tang San said, he was still poisoned. Even the slightest wound was enough to let the 2 types of toxins enter his body instantly. Wang Feng twisted his neck, making a cracking sound. Tang San was trapped and poisoned. However, he could use his martial soul to remove the toxins later, but he couldn't fight anymore. Wang Feng didn't say anything. He glanced at Tang San, clenched his fists, and walked directly toward Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Xiao Wu. Wang Feng walked out of the spiderweb. Oscar didn't throw the grilled sausages at Tang San because he knew he didn't have a chance. At the same time, Wang Feng attacked Dai Mubai first. Again, you can't beat us in 1 minute. Dai Mubai was naturally not afraid. His golden light, white tiger transformation lasted for half an hour. He was fighting vigorously now. After eating the grilled sausages, the injuries he suffered from the punch just now were quickly healed. There were also 2 transparent wings on his back. He was full of fighting spirit and wasn't afraid at all. Wang Feng still didn't say anything. With a light leap, he was already a meter high. He directly jumped into the air and punched towards Dai Mubai. It was like a missile that had been ejected, and its speed was extremely fast. I'm not afraid. Dai Mubai's eyes flashed, and he also threw a punch at Wang Feng. Rumble. With 1 punch, Dai Mubai was sent flying again. He crashed onto the ground, kicking up a huge cloud of dust. Wang Feng was about to rush toward Dai Mubai, but Ma Hongjun stopped him. Rumble. In an instant, the ground was filled with dust and dirt. Xiao Wu joined the battle too. Share the pressure with them. With Tang San's low shout, even Xiao Wu joined the battle. There was less than a minute left. At this time, Oscar was no longer important. As long as the 3 of them could hold back Wang Feng, who was poisoned by 2 different toxins, for a minute, they would win. With the 3 of them sharing the pressure, they had a chance to catch their breath. Wang Feng couldn't possibly defeat them one by one, and their chances of winning were higher. One after another, the figures were sent flying, but they quickly resumed the battle. Every time Wang Feng sent Dai Mubai flying with a punch and was about to rush over to inflict serious damage, Xiao would teleport in front of him and use her flexible waist bow to cause trouble for him. After shaking off Xiao Wu, Ma Hongjun rushed over. When Ma Hongjun sent Ma Hongjun flying with a slap, Dai Mubai had recovered and stood up. With the three of them sharing the pressure and Wang Feng suffering from two different toxins, it's almost impossible to defeat them one by one. This battle is won by Mubai and Xiao San. At this time, Oscar is indeed not important. The master in the distance nodded slightly. The strength of the seven of them was not to be underestimated. It was beyond the master's expectations that they could fight until now. If not for Ning Rongrong's help at the beginning, the seven of them would have had an easier time. It wouldn't be just Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Xiao Wu. However, the master still had a question in his heart. Why did Wang Feng choose Tang San as a second target? Time slowly passed. Victory seemed to be in sight. However, only 30 seconds later. Yes, only 30 seconds later. As the dust settled, only Wang Feng was left standing on the battlefield. Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, and Xiao Wu were all lying on the ground. Impossible. Almost immediately, Tang San, who had just used his blue-silver grass to absorb the toxins in his body, blurted out. Even the master suddenly took a few steps forward, his eyes wide open. The three of them shared the pressure. Wang Feng, who was poisoned by two different toxins, could not defeat the three of them in such a short time. Especially Dai Mubai. His fighting strength, stamina, and defense were the strongest. How could he be lying on the ground? Unless he used his soul power or soul skill. The master's eyes flickered, but he didn't feel Wang Feng's soul power fluctuation. It meant that he didn't use it. End of chapter. Chapter 141. In the distance, Flinder and Zhao Wuji also looked at each other, feeling a little incredulous. Wang Feng's physical fitness had indeed become stronger after returning from the Great Stardow Forest. But it shouldn't be this strong. He could send Dai Mubai flying hundreds of meters with one punch, but it was impossible for him to incapacitate Dai Mubai with two poisons in just 30 seconds. The dust dispersed, but several pairs of eyes, looking at the three lying on the ground, were suddenly stunned. There were many wounds on their arms, and the pitch-black poison spread to their entire arms, causing them to lie on the ground, trembling with numbness. The spiderweb-like poison marks on their wounds were extremely dazzling. You lost. Wang Feng looked at everyone and smiled. As if to clear their doubts, he opened his palm, revealing the spikes and tiny strands of blue-silver grass hidden in his palm. That's the spikes on my blue-silver grass and the tiny vines that were bound by the spiderweb. Tang San's mind seemed to have been struck by lightning. Grandmaster also looked at Wang Feng in shock, and his mind instantly understood. This kid is also cunning. In the distance, Flinder and Zhao Wuji were also shocked and finally understood the reason. Amazing. Amazing. Grandmaster murmured, It's really amazing. You took the initiative to attack Tang San, so that Tang San could use the binding spiderweb to trap you. Then, with your strong physical fitness, you quietly took out the spikes and the tiny spiderweb vines and hid them in your palm. Then, when you fought with the three of them, every time you fought in close combat. Thus, the vines that contained the two types of toxins scratched them. Every time, they might not even notice a small wound. After 30 seconds, with the strength of your every move, the more you fought, the more the poison in their bodies spread rapidly, and then they would lose their ability to fight. They would enter a state of paralysis. They don't have as strong a physical fitness as you. Otherwise, it would be impossible to defeat the three of them in such a short time. Grandmaster was silent. In his expectation, Wang Feng should be defeated in this battle, because he used Wang Feng to hone the tacit understanding of the seven people and improve their shortcomings. And there were too many restrictions, so Wang Feng's defeat was inevitable. But he didn't expect Wang Feng to win at this time. In the end, he reversed the situation in an instant, and he used Tang San's blue silvergrass. Even Tang San didn't notice it. A classic battle. Grandmaster deeply praised. This battle was even more exquisite than the battle between Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San. From the beginning to the end, Wang Feng's plan every turning point was perfectly timed. The most impressive moment was when Wang Feng had set his sights on Tang San and charged towards him. Next, the remaining 6 people, step by step, they fell into the trap by Wang Feng. It was just like a hunter using food to slowly lure his prey into the trap and kill it with the final strike. This is the most exciting battle I have ever seen. In the distance, Flanders praised, although their levels are not high and they haven't learned all kinds of profound soul skills, it is also the most exciting part. Wang Feng's victory can be said that if he was a little bit off, he wouldn't be able to achieve this scene. He didn't use any soul skills or soul power, but he used all the things on the field that could be used. The stones on the ground, the enemy's comrades, the enemy's soul skills, they were all used by him. Speaking of this, Flanders praised. As the level increased, Flanders realized that it was a battle of pure martial souls and soul skills. Like Zhu Zhuqing, using flint and oil to restrain Tang San. Once the level was high, this kind of situation was almost impossible. There was still a chance in a battle below rank 61. This was also the embodiment of wisdom. The higher the level, the stronger the battle, the more monotonous the fun, but it was also purer and more refreshing. At this time, everyone was silent. The moment Wang Feng revealed his hand, the people present were not stupid. They all understood what was going on. Except for Dai Mubai and the other 2, the other 4 people looked at Wang Feng in horror. Wang Feng looked at the remaining Oscar and Ning Rongrong. I don't need to deal with the 2 of you, right? Oscar. Ning Rongrong snorted. Her throat was still hoarse. You didn't lose this battle unjustly. Wang Feng deserved to win. Master walked over and said in a deep voice, just like what he said to Zhu Zhuqing, the effect of a small thing in the hands of different people will be infinitely magnified. In this battle, the stones on the ground, your comrade Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San's blue silvergrass. He used them all incisively and vividly. And the most amazing thing is that he used your arrogance. Hearing this, everyone was startled, as if they didn't understand what he meant. Master continued slowly. Even if he was poisoned by 2 kinds of poison, if the 3 of you chose not to fight and chose to avoid it, you still had a chance to win. But this is the best part. You saw that Wang Feng was poisoned and his physical fitness was greatly reduced. You thought that he couldn't defeat the 3 of you within a minute. So you attacked and resisted with all your strength. Even Xiao Wu joined the battle. He used this thought in your hearts to fight the 3 of you together and defeat all 3 of you at the same time. Think about it. If he only fought with Dai Mubai and Dai Mubai fell to the ground, would you still fight when you found out that Wang Feng used the spikes and spiderwebs on the blue silvergrass? You wouldn't. At that time, you would rely on the mushroom intestines to avoid it, and you would be able to drag it out longer. But you, even Tang San, wouldn't choose to do that, because Wang Feng knows that you are all monsters, proud and arrogant. Originally, you were 7 against 1, and he had so many restrictions, so you were unwilling to accept it. At this time, he was poisoned by 2 kinds of poison, so you couldn't choose to avoid it. You chose to fight and drag it out. After saying this, everyone was stunned for a moment before they fell silent again. Indeed, even if Wang Feng broke free from Tang San's spiderwebs, even if they didn't find the spikes and vines hidden in Wang Feng's hands, they still had a chance to win. That was to shamelessly evade, dodge, and use the mushroom intestines' flying ability to hold on for less than a minute. Wang Feng really didn't have a way. But everyone was a monster, and they were all geniuses. How could they choose this method? What's more, he was poisoned by 2 kinds of poison. If he still evaded, could he still be considered a soul warrior? So, even in the end, Tang San didn't even consider this point, and directly called Xiao Wu to join the battle. After defeating Zhu Zhuqing, He took the initiative to attack Tang San. In your eyes, it may be incomprehensible and reckless, but it is indeed a wonderful solution, and the only solution. His attack on Tang San had 3 effects. First, it made Tang San lose his fighting strength. Second, he obtained the 2 kinds of poison from the blue silvergrass. Third, he let himself be poisoned by the 2 kinds of poison, so that you would relax your vigilance and stimulate the competitiveness and pride in your hearts to defeat him together. It can be said to be killing 3 birds with 1 stone. End of this chapter. Chapter 142. Then he glanced at Wang Feng. It can be said that Wang Feng didn't defeat you in this battle. Instead, he used you to defeat yourselves. After everyone finished speaking, they lowered their heads in shame and looked at Wang Feng with admiration. They didn't expect Wang Feng to be able to predict their psychological state. Wang Feng couldn't help but think, did I think so much? He really didn't think so much. He fought Tang San because he wanted to use the toxicity of Tang San's blue silvergrass to defeat the 3 of them quickly. After all, Dai Mubai was thick-skinned and tough. He couldn't make him lose his fighting strength in a short time, unless he kicked a vital point, such as the balls. But Wang Feng couldn't do that. Dai Mubai wouldn't fall for it so easily. So he thought of using the poison of the blue silvergrass to secretly cut some spikes and break 2 spider vines when he was bound by the spiderweb. But later, what did he mean by using everyone's psychological state to fight him? Killing 3 birds with 1 stone? This is too mysterious. I'm sorry, Master. I really didn't think of this. Killing 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm not Guijing. I'm not a psychology student. How could I think of so many things? But after hearing Master's words, Wang Feng couldn't help but think, F***, I'm so powerful? I didn't even know it. Wang Feng naturally didn't expose Master's overinterpretation. He nodded slightly and said with a smile, Yes, I've already predicted all of this. Everyone, Wang Feng continued with a smile, so you didn't lose. Moreover, this battle can't be replicated. It will be difficult for you to fall for it a second time in the future. Indeed, these ingenious methods couldn't be replicated because they weren't soul skills. It was too easy to guard against something like a pebble breaking a spell. Using the toxicity of the blue silvergrass, it would be difficult for them to fall for it next time when they were mentally prepared. That's true. Although this battle was very classic and exquisite, it can't be replicated. The Grandmaster smiled. However, using intelligence to fight is exactly what we soul masters lack the most. Aside from martial souls and soul skills, there are many other things that we soul masters can use. At the very least, they'll all be useful before you reach a very high rank. This battle has given me a lot of inspiration, and I'm sure it will also give you a lot of inspiration. Everyone nodded. They were greatly enlightened. Ning Rongrong didn't expect her incantation to be interrupted. Her throat was hoarse, and she couldn't use her soul power. If the level was very high, the incantation might not be so important, but it was unavoidable now. Oscar didn't expect his sausage to be sent flying in the air. Zhu Zhuqing didn't expect that she would be used by Wang Feng as a shield. Thinking of this, Zhu Zhuqing gently bit her lips. Tang San never thought that the thorns and vines on his blue silvergrass could be used by the enemy. These blind spots seem to have opened the door to a whole new world for everyone. All right, Tang San, use your blue silvergrass to suck the poison out of them. Then you can start receiving your punishment. The ambassador's expression suddenly changed. The people at the door have prepared stones for you. You haven't forgotten your punishment, right? No one spoke. Tang San was the first to rush out, and the rest quickly followed. Xiao Feng, you go too. The Grandmaster looked at Wang Feng kindly. You're a team, so you have to bear the punishment together. However, you're independent of the 7 of them, and you won this battle, so you don't have to choose to receive your punishment. As for the stones, I prepared them for you. It's up to you. Wang Feng, you prepared the stones for me? You don't think I'll win, right? Wang Feng's mouth twitched, but he still said, All right, I'll go too. Just treat it as running with them. I won't interfere. With his physical fitness, running 10 laps around those stones was only a few hundred kilometers. It was similar to his training 6 years ago. After obtaining the mysterious underworld armor, Wang Feng almost never concealed it. Even if he hadn't concealed himself just now, his speed would have been at least twice as fast. Not to mention 3 minutes. Even if he had double the time, Wang Feng wouldn't even need to scheme and they wouldn't stand a chance. If I use my soul skills, I'll take it as my loss if they don't fall in 30 seconds. The mysterious underworld armor weighed 2,000 kilograms. As an external soul bone, it would be a huge burden on the body if it wasn't concealed. It could be said that he was training all the time. He had to control the mysterious underworld armor at all times. It had almost become an instinct. Wang Feng divided his strength into a few levels. First level, just like in the battle with the 7 of them, he didn't use his soul skills or martial soul. He didn't conceal the mysterious underworld armor, and only used his physical fitness and reversal techniques. If he didn't use any tricks, he could be considered evenly matched with the 7 of them. It would be difficult to determine the victor after a long time. Second level, conceal the mysterious underworld armor and circulate his soul power. While his defense was weakened, his physical attributes were boosted. He could quickly defeat the 7 of them within 2 minutes. Third level, possess a divinized soul skill. All of his physical attributes were boosted by 3 times. He controlled the mysterious underworld armor and appeared to block the attacks of his opponents. When he attacked, he concealed the armor to increase his own strength. His attacks carried lightning and were immune to poison. He could defeat the 7 of them within 30 seconds. Fourth level was impressive. Fourth level, apart from third level, his third soul skill, Thorny Lotus, increased his defensive abilities. His second soul skill, Ice Flame Furious Lotus, was a powerful long-range attack. If he had used fourth level earlier, he could have used a few Ice Flame Furious Lotuses to attack the 7 of them. It wouldn't even take 10 seconds. However, fourth level was too powerful. Wang Feng wouldn't use it against the 7 of them. Fifth gear. That would be awesome. Fifth level. Apart from fourth level, he had to use his true trump cards. He entered the Void Realm to fight. The soul power boost from his Golden Lotus, the karmic fire from his Red Lotus, and the strong defensive barrier from his Black Lotus, as well as his second soul skill's ultimate skill, Ice Flame Furious Lotus, a long-range attack. With his current rank 34, he could release about 3 Ice Flame Furious Lotus. Fifth level was his trump card. It was a matter of life and death. If he used fifth level, Wang Feng's Ice Flame Furious Lotus would cover the entire square. It would only take a second to finish off the 7 of them. Wang Feng estimated that there were very few who could use fifth level. Second level to fourth level were more practical. Sixth level, Wang Feng temporarily decided on the final level. As for what it was very simple. He couldn't use it for the time being, unless he used his Black Lotus to absorb the enemy's tyrannical and angry aura and turn it into energy storage, or to quickly reach rank 40. Only then could he use the Pango Axe. One axe, life and death. Either you die, or I die. End of this chapter. Chapter 143. Previously, when he fought with Qian Renxue, he used third gear. Qian Renxue probably did not use his full strength, so it was normal for him to be suppressed. Of course, the moves contained in these levels could be used interchangeably. The specific changes were made according to the actual combat situation. It was not fixed to use a certain gear. For example, in second gear and third gear, Wang Feng would suddenly use the soul power enhancement of the Golden Lotus or Red Lotus Hellfire according to the enemy situation to quickly eliminate the enemy. The classification of the levels was just a rough estimate of Wang Feng's strength. The only special one was the sixth gear Pango Axe. And according to the other forms of the Green Lotus and different abilities, Wang Feng would add different skills to each level in the future. Or open the gear, Wang Feng thought as he came to the door. It doesn't seem to be very heavy. Ma Hongjun tested the stone in the bamboo basket. The stone in his bamboo basket was only 10 kilograms. It seemed to be very easy for a 13-year-old child. As a beast spirit master, coupled with the change of soul power, their physical fitness was naturally far better than ordinary people. This stone of only 10 kilograms was very easy for them. It seems easy, but if we run with weights for a long time, it will be very difficult, Tang Sen said in a low voice. The further we run, let alone 10 kilograms, I'm afraid even 1 kilogram will bring a great burden to us. Wang Feng, who had just walked out, nodded. Tang Sen was right. 10 kilograms seem to be very light, but if we continue to run with them on our backs. Wang Feng thought to himself, Fatty will regret his words after 50 kilometers at most, let alone 100 kilometers. One had to know that Grandmaster had restricted them from using soul power to reduce the burden on their bodies. This meant that they could only rely on their own physical fitness. Tang San and Dai Mubai are the heaviest, 15 kilograms. Phew, mine seems to be the lightest. Ning Rongrong felt a little happy. You won't be happy later, Wang Feng couldn't help but think to himself when he heard this in the distance. Don't worry, Master has estimated our physical fitness. The weight that each of us can bear has been carefully considered by Master. Tang San said with a smile. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been assigned stones of different weights. Oscar nodded and said, Although Master has only been here for 2 days, he is very serious about us. He must have calculated the limits of what we can endure. As they spoke, the three of them started running. Wang Feng was also carrying the bamboo basket. He weighed it slightly and could not help but think, Master really thinks highly of me. This bamboo basket is at least 200 kilograms. This was several times heavier than the weight of the 7 people combined. However, the shimming armor weighed 2,000 kilograms, and he was already used to it. An extra 200 kilograms was nothing to him. Wang Feng slightly used his body to control the bamboo basket, and he was able to run lightly. If he didn't control it, the 200-pound thing would have a huge impact on running. It was the same for the mysterious underworld armor. It weighed 2,000 kilograms, and Wang Feng would sometimes use his soul power to control it precisely to train his soul power. If he didn't use soul power, he would have to use his body to control it. Otherwise, a simple step of 2,000 kilograms would leave a dent in the ground. Not very elegant. Seeing everyone run out, Wang Feng decided to let them run for a while before slowly setting off. Not long after everyone ran out. Without using soul power, they barely ran 1/5 of the distance. Even Tang San, who had better stamina, started sweating profusely. The few people behind were almost falling behind. Mubai, stop for a moment. Tang San looked at Dai Mubai and said softly, I feel that teacher's punishment for us is not simple. He wants us to be punished together and emphasizes teamwork. I'm afraid that this punishment needs to be completed together. If it's just one person carrying a rock, even if you and I can complete it, it will be difficult for the others. Dai Mubai was stunned. He nodded slightly and said, What you said makes sense. But what should we do? At this moment, the few people behind them caught up. Oscar seemed to have heard them. He couldn't help but take a few deep breaths. He said in a deep voice, If everyone works together, the one with the best stamina can help the one with the least stamina. The two of you have the best stamina. After running, you might have extra stamina. What if you help them along the way, for example, Ning Rongrong? Or you can help me, then run at a constant speed. If anyone can't take it anymore, you can help them bear some of the weight. Although he was above level 30 and had better stamina than Ning Rongrong, it wasn't by much. Oscar, I didn't know that you were so smart. Ning Rongrong's face turned red. She seemed to have thought of something. Wang Feng should be resting right now, right? Oof. Just then, Xiao Wu, who was looking around, exclaimed in surprise. Hey, Brother Feng, why are you here? Didn't you win and want to run with us? Everyone looked over and saw Wang Feng slowly walking over with a bamboo basket on his back. The bamboo basket on his back was filled with all kinds of rocks. The basket was also one size bigger than theirs. Didn't you rest? Ning Rongrong was stunned and asked curiously. Wang Feng won just now. How could the master let Wang Feng be punished? Ning Rongrong was a little dissatisfied. although she looked like she was unhappy that Wang Feng won and was resting. In fact, Wang Feng was also punished. She blamed Master in her heart. Wang Feng walked over and shook his head. Master said that we are all students of the academy. We are a team. Naturally, we will be punished together. So, he asked me to run as well. However, I am counted as an individual. Everyone nodded in realization. Master was still very strict. Wang Feng, how heavy are the rocks in your bamboo basket? Oscar walked over curiously. Every bamboo basket had its own name. It's not that heavy. Wang Feng thought for a moment and weighed the bamboo basket on his back. To be honest, he didn't feel it because the Xianming armor was too heavy. It should be at least twice as heavy as mine and Mu Bai's combined, Tang Sen thought and said. Both of them added up to about 30 kilograms. Double that would be 60 kilograms. It's that heavy. Ma Hongjun clicked his tongue. If it was 60 kilograms, I would probably die in one round trip. Soto City was still a little far from the academy. Ma Hongjun felt that he could still endure 10 kilograms in one round trip. 60 kilograms. He couldn't do it even if he killed himself. Wang Feng, let me try. Seeing that you don't have a single drop of sweat on your forehead, I suspect that the rocks aren't made of foam, right? Ma Hongjun walked over and couldn't help but say, all right, take it. Wang Feng took down the bamboo basket and passed it over. Ma Hongjun hurriedly hugged it. With this hug, he, who was already panting from exhaustion, was directly pressed to the ground. Everyone, not only that, when the bamboo basket landed on the ground, it directly pressed a deep imprint on the hard ground. On the ground, there was also a dull sound. Looking at it, everyone felt a little shocked. For a moment, they couldn't say a word. There's still a few more chapters tonight, right? End of this chapter. Chapter 144. Brother Feng, how heavy is this? Xiao Wu walked over and weighed the bamboo basket. She was shocked. It's so heavy. Brother, Tiger Dai, this is more than 60 kilograms. A group of people also came over. It was Dai Mubai who lifted the bamboo basket. The moment he lifted it, his expression changed. Although he could lift the bamboo basket, how could he carry so many stones and run? Not to mention 10 round trips. Even one round was almost impossible. Tang Sen also walked over and waited. His expression changed slightly. I'm afraid this is at least 200 kilograms. These stones aren't ordinary stones. They should be heavier black soil stones. No wonder the color is different. When he made a visual estimation just now, he made an estimation based on the rocks behind their bamboo baskets. But when he walked closer, he realized something was different. These black stones were much heavier than the stones on their backs. 200 kilograms? Ma Hongjun couldn't help but climb up. If you asked me to carry a 200-kilogram fatty normally, I might be able to do it. But I can't even walk, let alone run, unless I use my soul power. Wang Feng, why did the master give you such heavy stones? This number was indeed a little high, but Tang San remained silent. Brother Feng could absorb a 60-100-year soul ring when he was 6 years old. His physical fitness was definitely not something an ordinary soul master could compare to. The master is too much. Ning Rongrong walked over and said angrily, how can he let you carry such heavy things and run 10 round trips? Even if you use your soul power, you can't do it. Indeed, I can't do it. Dai Mubai thought to himself. Even if I use my soul power, I might not be able to carry such heavy things and last 10 rounds. I don't have enough soul power either. However, if it was Wang Feng, Dai Mubai didn't know. He had personally felt Wang Feng's strong physical fitness. But with such a long distance and such a long time, Dai Mubai couldn't make a judgment. All right, stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and run. Wang Feng couldn't help but laugh. Ning Rongrong wasn't a close combat type soul master. She had only observed Wang Feng's powerful body from the sidelines. However, she had never personally experienced it, so she could not estimate how strong Wang Feng's body was. He just thought that Wang Feng's physical fitness was definitely much better than Dai Mubai and Tang San. She didn't know exactly how strong he was. However, this 200-kilogram rock had already exceeded her imagination. That's right, I'm here. Although I can't help you share the pressure, I'm still here. Wang Feng only used 2 fingers to gently lift up the bamboo basket under Ma Hongjuan's pair of big eyes. Ma Hongjun was speechless. But I can tell you some tricks for running at a constant speed for a long time. Wang Feng put the bamboo basket back on his shoulder. What technique? Zhu Zhuqing seemed to be curious and asked softly. Wang Feng pondered for a moment and told him some long-distance running techniques from his previous life. In fact, there were a lot of techniques because he trained for a long time 6 years ago. For example, his running posture. According to different situations, he could adjust his foot position, front palm running, full palm running, and back palm running, and the coordination of his body's posture during running. All of these could slightly reduce the burden on the body during running. The most important thing was the method of breathing. Abdominal breathing, nose inhaling, mouth exhaling. The rhythm of the body was even more mysterious. The difference between running with different rhythms was like heaven and earth. Everyone could find a suitable rhythm according to their body's condition. This could effectively reduce the burden on the body from running. Wang Feng only mentioned a few things, but they were all novel to them. Who would pay attention to these things during running? No matter how many techniques there are, you still need a strong body to support it. Wang Feng waved his hand at everyone. Let's talk about it while running. I'll help you correct it while I'm at it. These techniques could only help them a little. However, they were indeed helpful. As for the method and rhythm of breathing, Tang San, as a person who cultivated internal strength, had a thorough understanding. This was because the mysterious heaven method should have this kind of special breathing method. In addition, Tang San had been training this way since he was a child, so he knew it very well. This was why he had an easier time running among the 7 of them. However, this special breathing method was related to the mysterious heaven method. He couldn't teach it to the other 6, so he didn't think about it. Also, the most important technique. With this, I guarantee that you won't be able to run easily, but you'll at least be able to finish running without feeling very tired. I'll tell you about it after you finish running a lap. After saying that, the 7 of them started running with Wang Feng. They were very curious about the most important technique Wang Feng mentioned. Ning Rong Rong, don't slouch your shoulders. Are you going to become a hunchback? On the way, Wang Feng corrected them as he spoke. Oscar, don't breathe with your mouth. Breathe with your nose. Keep inhaling with 3 steps and exhaling with 2 steps. Xiao Wu, straighten your back. Don't slouch like Ning Rong Rong. Ma Hongjun, don't lower your head. Look ahead. Are there gold coins on the ground? Watch out. Your neck is going to break. Zhu Zhuqing, don't twist your waist too much. Wang Feng cleared his throat and pointed at Zhu Zhuqing's butt. Zhu Zhuqing didn't know what to say. Wang Feng kept correcting their postures as they ran. Other than Tang San, the rest of them more or less had bad habits when they ran. After half a lap, Wang Feng changed a lot. After they got used to it, they found that it was indeed a lot easier. After the first lap, they finished running. The master had prepared some light salt and warm water for them at the entrance of the school, so that they would have enough energy for the second lap. You don't look very tired. The master looked around and saw that they were all sweating, but they didn't look tired. He nodded. In that case, keep it up. Master, Brother Feng taught us a lot of running techniques and how to breathe. It's a lot easier now. We never knew there was so much to running. Xiao Wu drank some water and wiped the sweat off her face. The master was surprised. He glanced at Wang Feng, but didn't say anything. Wang Feng, aren't you going to drink? Ning Rongrong handed Wang Feng a glass of water and was surprised to see that there wasn't a single drop of sweat on Wang Feng's face. He had been running while instructing them. He should be more tired. No, thanks. Wang Feng yawned. He didn't even feel warm after one lap. Ning Rongrong didn't know what to say. After a short rest, they started the second lap. By the time the second round started, everyone was already starting to feel a little tired. Next, I'll teach you a special way. You can increase your soul power while exercising. Wang Feng smiled and told them about the second lap. End of chapter. Chapter 145. Hearing this, the long line of people almost got stuck in a traffic jam. Don't be surprised. Run slowly and talk while running. Wang Feng continued. You guys don't have to talk. Save your energy, maintain your breathing, and pay attention to your rhythm. Just listen to me." Everyone listened attentively. Do you still remember meditation? We have heard that meditation absorbs energy from heaven and earth to increase soul power. Wang Feng slowly said, "Why can meditation absorb energy from heaven and earth? Because our mental power is extremely focused. Now that you guys have run back and forth, many of your bad postures have been corrected." Wang Feng saw it the most clearly. Although the 7 of them had different levels of strength, they were running at a uniform speed. When they ran, they were almost in sync. They are all geniuses after all. They can correct it very quickly. Once you have good habits, you could try the method I'm talking about. Wang Feng lightly said, "That is, when you are running, do a shallow level of meditation. Put all of your attention on meditation and let your running posture become a habit. When your attention is on meditation, you won't feel the fatigue in your body." If you don't believe me, you can try. This method is actually very interesting. In short, it is to divert the attention. Wang Feng remembered that when he was in junior high school, he didn't eat or drink and played games for an entire day. He didn't feel tired at all. When you're focused on class, you will realize that the class will pass very quickly. But when you're not paying attention to the class, you will find that the class is very slow. Meditation itself was an activity that required a high degree of concentration. When your mind is focused on meditation and absorbing energy from heaven and earth, they won't even feel the fatigue from running. Only when you stop meditating will you feel the intense fatigue in your body. It is like playing games for an entire day. When you turn off the computer, you will realize that you are really tired and want to sleep and eat. This principle can also be applied to why most women can shop for an entire day, even though their physical strength is weaker than men. It can also be applied to when a man and a woman are doing that thing. When the man is about to come out, he will shift his attention and think about something else. He will realize that he can last a lot longer. Everyone was really shocked by Wang Feng's words. This is Wang Feng's conclusion. It can't be helped. The compression and purification of soul power is too slow. Wang Feng can only use various methods to increase his soul power cultivation. Other than meditating, it was also the same for carrying weights or fighting. Now, in other words, Wang Feng was cultivating all the time. It was as if he had been placed on a hack machine. It was just that the speed wasn't as fast as meditating at night or cultivating after battle. Each of you should have your own way of meditating. Now, I know that your bodies are starting to get tired, so you can use this method to focus your mind and do some simple meditation to cultivate. Focus most of your attention on increasing your soul power through meditation. Let the running body maintain inertia, Wang Feng's voice sounded. Everyone began to try to enter this half-jogging, half-cultivating state. Even Tang San quickly tried Wang Feng's method. Remember, for every round, the more tired you are, the more you should not stop. Not only can it increase your running efficiency, it can also increase your soul power. Wang Feng said one last sentence and said no more. This method relied purely on one's perception. The master did not allow them to use soul power because running and training would not be effective if they used soul power. However, this method could not only temper one's body, but it could also increase one's soul power, and the effects were even better. Wang Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at them. The first one to enter this state was Xiao San. This was normal, but the second one to enter this state was Zhu Zhuqing. Her concentration was too strong. It could be said that there were no distracting thoughts in her mind. Since Wang Feng said so, she began to try it. Then one by one they entered this state. The last one to enter was Ma Hongjun. This guy had too many distracting thoughts in his mind. However, the 7 of them quickly entered this mysterious state. While opening their eyes and looking ahead, their bodies seemed to be running habitually. At the same time, they also did some simple meditation. At first, they were not used to it and often bumped into each other. But the second round, the third round, until the 5th round, the 6th round, the 7 of them finally got used to this state. Geniuses were geniuses. If Wang Feng asked other ordinary people to do this, They might not be able to do it in 1 or 2 days, or even 1 or 2 months. These 7 days were indeed geniuses. There was no doubt about it. After getting used to it, they were surprised to find that they were not tired anymore. In fact, it was not that they were not tired, but they could not feel tired. Wang Feng could clearly see that everyone was sweating profusely, and their faces were flushed red. But their running pace was still consistent and not messed up. This was very rare. Cultivating while running could be considered to have taught them a new skill. This kind of cultivation speed might not be fast, but it was very effective. Until the 10th round. Master, you're too ruthless. I'm afraid they have to crawl back, right? Flender looked at the master with some blame. Isn't this normal? The master glanced at Flender. Flender was speechless. So you don't want them to have a good time at all? Don't worry. With this child's body, although 10 rounds are very long, they should be able to complete it as long as they help each other. Have you prepared the medicinal bath I asked you to take? When they come back, they must have collapsed. The master said in a deep voice, don't delay later. Send them into the medicinal tub. Flender nodded. I've already ordered. I'll ask Zhao Wuji to deal with the men. Let the women in the village deal with them. The master nodded slightly. After a while, they finally saw the figures of Tang San and the others. He was stunned by what he saw. Wait, they all ran back. Flender looked into the distance and was stunned. Did they use soul power? No, it's strange. In the distance, the 7 people led by Tang San and Dai Mubai had red faces and were sweating profusely as if they had taken a bath. But their steps were not messed up, and their eyes were bright. No one knew where they were looking, but they ran back just like that. Even Ning Rongrong, who was the weakest, also ran back, and Wang Feng, who was at the back, was chewing a weed in his mouth and holding the back of his head with his hands, following the 7 people. The 7 people were like a long dragon. Everyone's hands were on the person in front of them. As if to maintain the formation or to prevent tripping on the way, they ran back. Tacit, very tacit. Strange, incomparably strange. No, I didn't use soul power. The master frowned and said, their bodies are at their limits now. Mu Bai's eyes are red, which means his body is about to reach its limit. Then what's going on? Did they see a ghost? Flender stared at Wang Feng, who was chewing the weed in his mouth. Could it be related to Wang Feng? End of chapter. Chapter 146. They walked toward the gate of the school, but they didn't slow down. It was as if they didn't see it, until Wang Feng spat out the grass in his mouth and shouted, "Stop!" This voice seemed to wake everyone up in an instant. In an instant, Ning Rongrong, who had the worst physical fitness, was so tired that she directly lay on the ground. Her head was a little dizzy, and she felt that she had no strength at all. Then, the rest of them also lay down one after another, gasping for breath. Dai Mubai and Tang San, who had the best physical fitness, were a little better, but the endless exhaustion hit them almost instantly. Wang Feng looked at them and clicked his tongue. They were like him who played games all night and then went home to sleep. What's going on? Flender couldn't help but ask. The 7 of them couldn't say a word. They don't seem to know that they are running. The master saw the clue and frowned. But their bodies are indeed in a state of limit. Strange, strange. Flender, carry them back first. Flender nodded hurriedly and walked into the school, with Zhao Wuji holding the children in one hand. Several women also walked over and carried the 3 girls. The 7 of them regained their vision. Although it was very blurry, they could still see that they had run to the finish line, and Wang Feng, who had been following them all the time and hadn't sweated until now. Little Feng, did you do it? The master asked. Kind of. Let them tell you. This way, the impact will be more profound. Wang Feng kept him guessing. The master, you even know how to whet my appetite. At night, after Tang Sen woke up from the medicine barrel, he thought silently in his heart, Brother Feng's method is really effective. My soul power has improved a lot. Although it's not exaggerated, this method can be accumulated over a long period of time. In this way, no matter how little it is, I will be half a level higher than others in a year. After a few years, I will be at least 1 or 2 levels higher. Thinking of this, Tang Sen couldn't help but take a deep breath of cold air. He had never thought of this method before, cultivating while running, but he did it. I really don't know how Brother Feng came up with these strange ideas. Tangsen thought secretly. Of course, he didn't know that Wang Feng was forced to do this because his soul power was increasing too slowly. These soak potions seemed to be able to quickly recover from fatigue. It should be the master's doing, right? As Tangsen thought about it, he walked out, put on his clothes, and walked toward the canteen. At this time, everyone was there. Tangsen even saw a few people eating. The rich aroma aroused Tang San's taste buds. He quickly walked over. Tang San, come quickly. After the exercise, I feel that the food is extraordinarily delicious. Oscar waved at Tang San. Grandmaster, Flinder, and Zhao Wuji were in the center, meditating while running. Flinder suddenly let out a strange cry. Wang Feng taught you? Oh my god, this. Then, he was speechless. He himself was a powerhouse who defied many common sense. Otherwise, he wouldn't have founded the Shrek Monster Academy. But this kind of strange cultivation method was simply like a fantasy story. Grandmaster also looked at everyone with a face full of surprise. Yes, Brother Feng said that when we are running, we are too focused, so the more we run, the more clearly we feel the fatigue in our bodies. If we shift our attention to something else, we won't feel the fatigue in our bodies. Xiao Wu said while eating a steamed bun. Then, he helped us change the technique of running to make it easier for us to run. He said that after forming a kind of inertia, let the body maintain a running posture. Then, we focused and tried a simple meditation cultivation. At first, we thought it was very difficult. After a few laps, we slowly learned and then gradually got used to it. The rest of the people echoed a few words. I feel that Wang Feng's method is very practical. Dai Mubai thought for a moment and said, when I entered the cultivation state from running, I didn't feel very tired. When I woke up just now, I found that my soul power really increased. Because it was just a simple meditation, the increase was not much. But it is really a good method. But after waking up, I was 2F** king tired. Fatty Ma Hong Jun complained. It was even more tiring than when I went to vent my anger and fought 3 or 4 people. Everyone, after hearing this, Master and Flinder sighed. A genius idea. Master commented, this is actually a method to divert attention. It is very wonderful, but I have to say, it is very suitable for you. If it were others, it might be difficult to learn. But you're geniuses, monsters. This method is suitable for you. And the person who can create and discover this method is a genius among geniuses. Master's eyes flickered. If you can apply this method to all kinds of training, it is equivalent to you cultivating all the time. Maybe one day, 2 days, 1 month, or 2 months, you won't see the effect. But 1 year, 2 years, or even several years, there will be earth-shaking changes. Just the level of your soul power alone will increase by at least 1 or 2 levels, or even more. It depends on how you apply it. Everyone heard this. They were shocked. They didn't think so much. Wasn't this too amazing? This is a method that requires years of persistence to have a practical effect, and it can increase the efficiency of your training. Master sighed slightly. This method is somewhat beyond imagination. In the future, you can use this method to train. Everyone looked at Wang Feng. Their eyes flickered with a complicated light. Don't look at me like that. You will get used to it. Wang Feng waved his hand. Master's special training has just begun. At this time, Ning Rongrong suddenly sat beside Wang Feng and whispered, Wang Feng, I have a question to ask you today. What? Didn't you learn it? What's the problem? Wang Feng was surprised. Oh, it's not about the training. Ning Rongrong snorted. It's about the battle during the day. Battle during the day? You want to ask how to guard against my stones? Wang Feng thought for a moment. You should be smart. If you fight again in the future, you can use anything to protect your throat. That's not what I want to ask. Then what is it? Wang Feng frowned. Ning Rongrong lowered her head. Her voice was a bit soft. If, during the battle during the day, the one you caught was not Zhu Qing but me, would you use me to block in front of you? This question, Ning Rongrong had been holding back for a long time. When she saw Wang Feng blocking Zhu Zhuqing in front of him during the battle during the day, she wanted to ask. This chapter ends. Chapter 147. Back then, they were enemies and there was only victory and defeat. Wang Feng had done the right thing. He was smart and resourceful. But Ning Rongrong still wanted to ask him that question. Of course not. Wang Feng shook his head. Girls love to ask such unrealistic questions. How could there be so many ifs? Ning Rongrong looked at Wang Feng in pleasant surprise. But then Wang Feng said, "Don't worry. Rongrong, you're too weak. An auxiliary-type soul master like you doesn't deserve to be caught by me. You're not suitable for blocking." Ning Rongrong didn't know what to say. Ning Rongrong glared at Wang Feng angrily. You, I will grow up and become powerful sooner or later. Just you wait." After saying that, Ning Rongrong angrily walked over to Xiao Wu's side and began to eat heartily, as if the food in the bowl was Wang Feng. Wang Feng was silent for a moment, then shook his head again. It wasn't a matter of strength. She was too weak. After eating, everyone went to rest. Then, the 7 of them began to receive Master Lin's devilish training. Although they were called demons, Wang Feng felt that they were ordinary. They would fight at a fixed time every day. They would fight Wang Feng once a week. Of course, Wang Feng would still use his first-tier strength. But Wang Feng won almost every time, and the 7 of them were beaten up. As time went on, the 7 of them were beaten up less and less. They were able to fight Wang Feng on equal terms, but they were still beaten up. The 7 of them weren't idiots. They had already made sufficient preparations in advance. It wasn't that Wang Feng didn't grow stronger. On the contrary, Wang Feng's strength had increased a lot. It was just that Wang Feng had too many limitations. His soul power had stabilized at rank 34, close to rank 35. The biggest improvement was in the use of the Soul Bone mysterious underworld armor. Ever since Wang Feng found out that there was a bone spur on the armor, he had naturally increased the time he spent on training to control it. In 3 months, Wang Feng could control more than 100 bone spurs to attack like hidden weapons. It was hard to defend against. Compared to the Ice Flame Furious Lotus, not only could it be used as an AoE attack, it could also be used as a single target attack. It's just that it can attack from all directions like the Ice Flame Furious Lotus. However, it was extremely powerful. Wang Feng called this bone spike the Mysterious Underworld Spike. It was a complete set with the Mysterious Underworld armor. In other words, these Mysterious Underworld Spikes form the Mysterious Underworld armor. It could also be used as a powerful attack. Furthermore, it was hard to detect. Any soul cultivator below rank 50, even if they were a defense-type soul cultivator, would be severely injured if they were hit by the Mysterious Underworld Spikes. Furthermore, the Dark Nether Spike had a strong corrosive property. The degree of corrosion was extremely high. When it pierced through a tree, even a small hole could corrode the tree in a short period of time. This was a very insidious method of attack. However, the effective range was only about 50 meters for now. Beyond this range, Wang Feng would find it difficult to control his soul force. Wang Feng imagined that if he could control all the bone spikes on the Xianming armor, it would be like shooting 10,000 arrows at the same time. Thinking about it, it was quite a spectacular sight. In these 3 months, the 7 of them had changed a lot. The most obvious change was their soul power. Almost everyone's soul power had increased to varying degrees. They meditated during their training. After 3 months, they could already feel the effects. One had to know that they had been training their bodies for the past 3 months. Their focus wasn't on cultivating their soul force. At the same time, their bodies had become stronger. This was inevitable. They had broken through their limits time and time again, even though they didn't have the meteoric tier. However, the students had used a special medicinal bath to heal their bodies. After 3 months, there were also very obvious effects. It was probably equivalent to a normal person going to be a soldier for a year. For example, Ning Rongrong, a delicate young lady, had a more heroic look on her face. Her aura had changed. making her look even brighter and more attractive. Zhu Zhuqing was even more beautiful. However, there were no mysterious underworld spikes in other places. Naturally, the result was Ning Rongrong was envious. Although her figure had changed a little, there was still a big difference between her and Zhu Zhuqing. There was almost no change in Xiao Wu. Wang Feng knew the reason. Tang San had grown a little taller and became more capable. His soul power had also increased by more than one level. Other than Ma Hongjun, his soul power had also increased. No one was envious because they felt that they were about to level up. Ma Hongjun, Oscar, and Dai Mubai had also changed a lot. Speaking of which, Ma Hongjun had changed the most. In addition to his soul power increasing by one level, his originally fat body had lost dozens of kilograms. Although he was still fat, the fat on his stomach had shrunk by a lot. In addition, in these 3 months, Wang Feng also quietly inquired about the news of Si Rong, Ling Run, and the other two leaving for Soto City 5 years ago. However, he didn't hear anything. To be precise, since Wang Feng came to Soto City, Wang Feng didn't hear anything about these 3 people. Other than that, there was also the mysterious young man in the Great Soul Arena that day, Qianren Xue. Because Wang Feng didn't go to the Great Soul Arena in these 3 months, he didn't meet him. Just like that, 3 months passed. The first stage of the master's training was over. Wang Feng didn't participate in the training most of the time because the effect was very low for him. He only appeared on time for the battle once a week. Most of the time, he would leave the academy and disguise himself. He would travel to various soul-hunting forests or the Great Star Do Forest to search for information about the 3 little fellows. He would also fight with the soul beasts in those forests to improve his cultivation. In the Shrek Academy, Wang Feng was the most special existence. Flinder and the master gave him a lot of power. Even the training plan, Wang Feng would participate. For the 7 of them, Wang Feng was both a teacher and a friend, and a different kind of teacher. At the same time, Wang Feng was also a student of the Shrek Academy. Fatty, were you beaten by someone? After the special training, the 3 of them had 7 days of vacation. On this night, Tang San, Dai Mubai, and Oscar were planning to leave the academy, but they were discovered by Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu stood at the door and asked speechlessly, "You are a student of the Shrek Academy. Who beat you?" Wang Feng, who had just returned from the Great Stardo Forest, was also standing there. Wang Feng looked at Ma Hongjun with a funny expression. Dean Flinder's famous saying, "A soul master who causes trouble is not a good soul master." Therefore, the 7 of them didn't want to suffer losses. How could they be silent after being beaten by someone? Naturally, they had to come back and take revenge on their brothers. Ahem, 5th sister, this is a matter between us men. You shouldn't meddle in it. Ma Hongjun, Dai Mubai, and Tang San looked at each other. The 3 of them were planning to take revenge. Brother Feng is back today. Xiao Wu pointed at Wang Feng behind her and laughed. Hurry up. What do you want to do? Tell me. When they saw Wang Feng, the 3 of them changed their expressions. 3 months later, in the Shrek Academy, among the 7 of them, the one they were most afraid of was not Dean Flinder, nor was it the Akalanatha Zhao Wuji, nor was it the cruel and merciless master. It was this, Wang Feng, who was known as the King of Monsters. In a chapter. Chapter 148. Only God knew how many times they had been beaten up in these 3 months. Once a week, 7 against 1. That was a compulsory lesson. Almost every week, the 7 of them would be ruthlessly beaten down by Wang Feng. Even if they could barely endure from the first 3 minutes to the last 10 minutes within the effective time, Wang Feng never showed mercy. One by one, he beat them up. Even if they were girls, Wang Feng did not show mercy. Even Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, Xiao Wu, all of them were beaten black and blue. The men were even more miserable. Wang Feng's violent beating. Even more frightening. Did you think it was only once? No. After the beating, he would immediately heal you and then continue to the next round of beating. He was simply a devil. Every week, although the 7 of them had a fight with Wang Feng every day, they would go back and forth at least 3 times in a day. This day, The 7 of them jokingly called it the Devil's Day. However, this kind of training also greatly improved the tacit understanding of the 7 of them. Occasionally, Wang Feng would give Ning Rongrong, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing, the 3 girls, special treatment and let them display their divinized spirit skills. They would experience the feeling of flying and then let the 3 of them violently beat up Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, Tang San, and Oscar. And during the majority of the week, Wang Feng was not in the academy. As for where he went to cultivate, the 7 of them did not know. Sometimes Ning Rongrong could not help but ask Grandmaster, but Grandmaster did not tell them, only telling them not to ask too much and to train themselves well. Only Zhu Zhuqing could roughly guess. Over the past 3 months in the academy, the 7 of them had been admiring Wang Feng, marveling at him, and so on. But now there was something else that was even more profound. Fear, especially a certain girl. Her mood was even more complicated. Therefore, at this moment, when Ma Hongjun and the others saw Wang Feng, their faces stiffened. Monster King. Oh no. Wang Feng, when did you come back? Monster King was the name Ma Hongjun had given him, and the boys had gotten used to calling him that. Because Wang Feng's surname was Wang, he was the true king of monsters on this monster academy, so he was called Monster King. What? Are you afraid that I will stop you from taking revenge? Wang Feng could not help but laugh. Wang Feng laughed. Ma Hongjun and the others heaved a sigh of relief. How could Wang Feng stop them? Of course we should go together to take revenge. Isn't that right, Xiao Wu? Wang Feng said with a smile. He, of course, fatty 4th brother. Do you still think of us as brothers and sisters? Xiao Wu flicked her scorpion-tailed braid and glared at Ma Hongjun with a smile. If they were in a battle, she would also be very afraid of Big Brother Feng. But usually, Big Brother Feng was not scary at all. Ma Hongjun also looked miserable and quickly told him about how he had been beaten up. Wang Feng laughed after hearing that. Simply put, the fat guy failed to save the damsel in distress and was F***ed instead. That one who beat him up was called Dalu, a 4-ring spirit ancestor with an extremely strange spirit. He was a famous old hoodlum in Suatawa City's area. Relying on his 4-ring spirit ancestor status, he often molested little girls and did improper things. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go. Go teach that hoodlum a lesson. Wang Feng indifferently said. He can still beat you? Our Shrek Academy's people can still suffer such a loss? Besides you being beaten up by me, if other people beat you, you have to ask if I agree or not. Hearing this, Ma Hongjun felt somewhat strange. But again he grinned. With Wang Feng going together, that hoodlum wouldn't even have the slightest chance. The party walked towards Suatawa City. His spirit's information, you just now already told us. Tang San somewhat cautiously asked. Oh, right, since that person is a hoodlum. Does he have any companions? I don't know, he should have. But since there's our Shrek Academy's Monster King, what's there to fear? Ma Hongjun walked in front, full of vigor and vigor. Originally, he was full of confidence because his brothers were going to take revenge together. If Wang Feng were to go as well, it would be a foolproof plan. Makes sense. Dai Mubai nodded slightly. Little San is cautious, but that generation's hoodlums generally all have companions. He himself is a 4-ring spirit ancestor. Perhaps his companions also won't be much worse. The party walked while chatting, and before long they arrived at Suatawa City. Because it was night, all around was comparatively quiet. Fatty, the 4 of us set up a formation. After hiding, how can we draw him out? Oscar doubtfully asked. Ma Hongjun shook his head and said, every night, he should appear, but his specific location is in this area. Hearing this made several people frown. Could it be that they had to wait here for a hare? Since he likes young and beautiful girls, you often come to this area. Directly go find a beautiful girl. Want to be fine? Wang Feng said. Makes sense. Let me think about it. Ma Hongjun's eyes brightened. As an old customer, regarding this matter, he knew the most. Just at this moment, Xiao Wu unhappily said, think about what? In this area, don't tell me there's still someone more beautiful than your 5th sister? Ma Hongjun glanced at Xiao Wu, then looked at Tang San. Fifth sister, you mean, don't tell me you want to be the bait? I'm afraid third brother won't agree. Tang San smiled. Actually, I have another idea. At this moment, Xiao Wu's eyes turned and fell on Wang Feng. She giggled and said, there's another person who should be more beautiful than me. Who? Ma Hongjun's eyes brightened. In the academy, there were 3 girls with different styles. Ma Hongjun felt that very few people could compare to the 3 of them. Xiao Wu actually said that there was someone more beautiful than her. Dai Mubai and Oscar's eyes also brightened. Of course it's. Xiao Wu walked to Wang Feng's side. Clang, 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 clang. It's Brother Feng. Brother Feng is so handsome. If you dress up as a girl, you'll definitely be more beautiful than me. Bang! Xiao Wu just finished speaking. What greeted her was a knock on Wang Feng's head. Xiao Wu, you're too daring. You even dare to tease Brother Feng. Tang San was amused by Xiao Wu. Wang Feng laughed and scolded. You should let Mubai dress up as a girl. Look at him. He's tall and has golden hair. His face is handsome and his figure is slender. If he dresses up as a girl, he'll look like a cold and aloof elder sister. Dai Mubai's expression immediately changed. He waved his hand and took a few steps back. It seems reasonable. Xiao Wu glanced at Dai Mubai and snorted. Forget it. You guys watch me. Speaking, Xiao Wu put on a rabbit ear hairband, bouncing and skipping out onto the pitch-black street. Third brother, this? Ma Hongjun looked at Tang San. You guys just watch. Xiao Wu is not easy to bully. Aren't we still here? Tang San couldn't help but laugh. She's not as simple as you think. Not long later, everyone watched. A wretched figure quickly walked out of the street and walked toward Xiao Wu. At this time, Wang Feng looked at the other 2 figures and frowned slightly. In the distance, there stood an extremely tall man with a wild and valiant aura, and another extremely thin and weak man. This bully's companions seemed to have come out ahead of time. These 2 fellows seemed to be 50th ranked spirit kings. End of this chapter. Chapter 149. Only God knew how many times they had been beaten in the past 3 months. Once a week, 7 against 1. That was a compulsory course. Almost every week, the 7 of them would be beaten to the ground by Wang Feng. Even if he could barely last from the first 3 minutes to the last 10 minutes within the effective time, Wang Feng did not show any mercy. He beat them up one by one. Even if they were girls, Wang Feng didn't show any mercy. Ning Rongrong, Zhu Zhuqing, and Xiao Wu were all beaten black and blue. The men were even more miserable, Wang Feng's style of beating. What's more, did you think it was only once? No. After the beating, he would immediately recover and continue to be beaten in the next round. He was simply the devil. Although the 7 of them had a fight with Wang Feng every day, every week, they would fight at least 3 times a day. This day was jokingly called Devil's Day by the 7 of them. However, this kind of training also greatly improved the tacit understanding between the 7 of them. Occasionally, Wang Feng would give special treatment to Ning Rongrong, Xiao Wu, and Zhu Zhuqing, the 3 girls, by using deified soul skills on them. They would experience the feeling of flying and then let the 3 of them beat up Dai Mubai, Ma Hongjun, Tang San, and Oscar. Most of the time, Wang Feng wasn't in the school. As for where he went to cultivate, the 7 of them didn't know. Ning Rongrong couldn't help but ask Master sometimes, but Master didn't tell them. He only told them not to ask too much and to train themselves well. Only Zhu Zhuqing had a rough idea. In the past 3 months in the school, the 7 of them admired Wang Feng and marveled at him. But now, there was another more profound feeling. Fear. Especially one of the girls. Her mood was even more complicated. Therefore, at this moment, when Ma Hongjun and the others saw Wang Feng, their faces froze. Monster King. Oh no. Wang Feng, when did you come back? Monster King was the code name Ma Hongjun came up with. The boys called him Monster King after a while. Wang Feng's surname was Wang, and he was the real king of monsters on this ship, so he was called the Monster King. Why? Are you afraid that I'll stop you from taking revenge? Wang Feng couldn't help but laugh. Seeing Wang Feng smile, Ma Hongjun and the others heaved a sigh of relief. How could Wang Feng possibly stop them? For things like revenge and trouble, of course we should go together. Right, Xiao Wu? Wang Feng said with a smile. Of course, you fatty fourth brother. Do you still treat us as brothers and sisters? Xiao Wu flicked her scorpion tail and glared at Ma Hongjun with a smile. If they were in a fight, she would be terrified of Big Brother Feng. But normally, Big Brother Feng wasn't scary at all. Ma Hongjun had a miserable look on his face as he quickly recounted how he had been beaten up. Hearing this, Wang Feng smiled. To put it simply, Fatty failed to save the damsel in distress and was instead F***ed. The one who beat him up was called Dalu. He was a four-ring soul ancestor with a very strange martial soul. He was a famous old hooligan in the area of Soto City. Relying on his status as a four-ring soul ancestor, he often molested young girls and did inappropriate things. Then what are we waiting for? Let's go and teach that hooligan a lesson. Wang Feng said indifferently. Can he beat you up? Can the people of Shrek Academy suffer such a loss? Other than being beaten up by me, if anyone else beats you up, you have to ask me for permission. Hearing this, Ma Hongjun felt a little strange. But then he grinned. With Wang Feng traveling with him, that hooligan didn't even have the slightest chance. The group of people walked towards Soto City. You've already told us about his martial soul. Tang Xin asked cautiously. By the way, since that person is a hooligan, does he have any companions? I don't know, he should have. But since our Shrek's Monster King is here, what's there to be afraid of? Ma Hongjun walked in front in high spirits. Originally, he was full of confidence when a few of his brothers went to take revenge together. If Wang Feng went as well, it would be absolutely foolproof. That makes sense. Dai Mubai nodded slightly. Xiao San is indeed cautious. But hooligans of that generation usually have companions. He's a four-ring soul ancestor, so I'm afraid his companions won't be much worse. The group of people chatted as they walked. Not long after, they arrived at Soto City. Because it was night, the surroundings were relatively quiet. Fatty, after the four of us set up a formation and hide, how are we going to lure him out? Oscar asked doubtfully. Ma Hongjun shook his head and said, every night, he should appear, but his specific location is in this area. Hearing this, the group frowned. Could it be that they had to wait here for him? Since he likes young and beautiful girls, why don't you just look for beautiful girls when you come here often? Wang Feng said. That makes sense. Let me think. Ma Hongjun's eyes lit up. As a regular traveler, he knew the most about this matter. At this moment, Xiao Wu said unhappily, what are you thinking about? Is there anyone in this area who's prettier than me? Ma Hongjun looked at Xiao Wu, then at Tang San. Fifth sister, are you saying that you want to be the bait? I'm afraid brother San won't agree. However, Tang San merely smiled. Actually, I have another idea. At this moment, Xiao Wu's eyes fell on Wang Feng. She said with a smile, there's someone who's prettier than me. Who? Ma Hongjun's eyes lit up. In the academy, the three girls had different styles. Ma Hongjun felt that there were very few girls who could compare to them. Xiao Wu said that there was someone prettier than her. Dai Mubai and Oscar's eyes lit up as well. Of course, Xiao Wu walked to Wang Feng's side. Clang, 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 clang. It's Brother Feng. Brother Feng is so handsome. If you dress up as a girl, you'll definitely be prettier than me. Bang! As soon as Xiao Wu finished speaking, Wang Feng smacked her on the head with a chestnut. Xiao Wu, you've got guts. How dare you make fun of Brother Feng? Tang San was amused by Xiao Wu's antics. Wang Feng laughed and scolded. You should let Mubai dress up as a girl. Look at him. He's tall and has blonde hair. He's handsome and tall. If he dresses up as a girl, he'll look like a cold, mature lady. Dai Mubai's expression changed. He waved his hand and took a few steps back. Hey, that makes sense. Xiao Wu glanced at Dai Mubai and snorted. Forget it. You guys watch me. After saying that, Xiao Wu put on a bunny ear headband and skipped out into the dark street. Brother San, what's going on? Ma Hongjun looked at Tang San. Just watch. Xiao Wu isn't a pushover. We're still here, aren't we? Tang San couldn't help laughing. She's not as simple as you think. Before long, everyone watched. A wretched figure quickly appeared on the street and walked toward Xiao Wu. At this moment, Wang Feng looked at the other two figures and frowned slightly. In the distance, there was an extremely tall man with a wild and valiant aura, and another man with an extremely thin and weak body. This Belize companion seems to have come out early. These two guys seem to be soul kings over level 50 into this chapter. Chapter 150. Wang Feng only took a glance before retracting his gaze. Two soul kings over level 50. Although their levels were very high, with Tang San and the other three protecting her, Xiao Wu was definitely not in danger. Even if the five of them could not defeat the two soul kings later, they would think about it later. In the dark night, Xiao Wu was jumping on the street. She was not tall and looked like a lively and cute little rabbit, obediently waiting for the hunter to kill her. Not long after, the hunter finally appeared. "It's him." Ma Hongjun pointed at the middle-aged man walking towards Xiao Wu on the street and said in a low voice. The other three were slightly shocked, and their gazes were fixed in front of them. It was a wretched man wearing a black windbreaker and a cowboy hat. His two front teeth were slightly protruding out, making him look like a mouse. His facial features were ugly, but no matter how one looked at him together, he looked awkward. At this moment, he looked at Xiao Wu and seemed to be very excited. His hands were still in the shape of claws, as if he was using his hands to grab a steamed bun. "Uncle, do you have candy?" Xiao Wu wants to buy candy to eat. The pitch-black figure stood in front of Xiao Wu, causing her to raise her head and reveal an innocent and cute smile. This smile seemed to predict everything. Tang San recalled this smile. It was 6 years ago, when he was in the Nodding Academy's dormitory, that was the first time he saw this smile. Innocent and cute, pure and flawless. Then he was defeated by Xiao Wu's soft skills. Yes, Uncle has not only candy, but also super big lollipops. Buli's saliva was secreting rapidly. He looked at the girl in front of him, who was only about 1.6 meters tall. In front of his tall and mighty figure, she was like a little rabbit that was at the mercy of others, especially the bunny ear headband on her head. Needless to say, she was so cute. "How big is it?" A trace of disgust flashed across Xiao Wu's eyes, but she still asked with a smile, "Can you bring me to take a look?" Xiao Wu really wants to eat it. Wang Feng was secretly amused. Xiao Wu was mischievous. On the surface, she looked weak and cute, but just like Ning Rongrong, it was only on the surface. Girls were naturally good at pretending. There were very few people like Zhu Zhuqing who were straightforward and couldn't pretend. They treated everyone the same. Douluo was so excited that his entire body was trembling. He directly brought Xiao Wu to a slightly dark alley at the side. "Follow him." Tang San's heart tightened a little. Although he knew that Xiao Wu was acting, he still couldn't help but worry. Everyone quickly rushed over. Just as they arrived, then a voice rang out. "Leave the lollipop for yourself. Die." Boom, boom. Immediately after, the ground in the alley was smashed into craters one after another, accompanied by the sound of human bones cracking. 8 steps fall. Wang Feng looked at Xiao Wu's soft technique with interest. This was a type of combo skill. When Xiao Wu got close to the enemy, as long as she was hit by the first move, it would be very difficult for her to react. Later on, he used the waist bow to continuously use various techniques to throw the enemy. If the enemy wasn't a strength-type soul master, they would be able to react immediately or take the hit head-on. All other types of soul masters would lose their ability to fight. This was especially true for control types. Boom, boom, boom. After Xiao Wu's 7th fall, Xiao Wu used a mid-air kill and a spiraling fall to send Director Kong flying. Then, she clamped Buli's head with her calf and spun 180 degrees, causing Buli's entire body to spin as well. However, his neck couldn't take it and made a creaking sound. After spinning 10 times, Xiao Wu did a backflip and jumped onto Buli's body. Finally, she used a waist bow. She threw Bulu to the ground. Dai Mubai and the others were dumbfounded, especially Oscar. His entire body went numb. This is an 8-step fall. As long as Xiao Wu gets close to him, he won't be able to escape. Tang San explained in a low voice. It's quite powerful. Oscar swallowed a mouthful of saliva. If it was Dai Mubai, it would be fine. As an auxiliary-type soul master, he would die if he encountered it. He's not dead, right? Ma Hongjun glanced at him. He's still a soul master. If he dies just like that, don't worry, it's fine. He's only dislocated all over his body. It's inevitable that he'll have to lie down for a month. This kind of hooligan deserves it. Xiao Wu snorted. I went easy on him. The few of them were embarrassed. Dai Mubai coughed a few times. Even if he took this 8-step fall head-on, he would not feel good. Dalu was a control type. TSK. Xiao Wu, don't use this method to tempt the enemy in the future. It's too dangerous. Tang San walked in front of Xiao Wu and whispered. Xiao Wu's face was slightly red. She glanced at Tang San and giggled. Brother, are you worried about me? Tang San patted Xiao Wu's head. His meaning was self-evident. Xiao Wu lowered her head and looked at her toes. The scorpion braid behind her swung back and forth. Why are we here to teach a hooligan a lesson? We still have to eat dog food. Ma Hongjun was very dissatisfied. The person is sitting by the side, but dog food is falling from the sky. Wang Feng clicked his tongue. Suddenly, he frowned and reminded them in a low voice, be careful. As soon as he finished speaking, the few of them were stunned. They saw two shadows suddenly covering their figures. They saw that the exit of the alley was blocked by two men. One was tall and strong, while the other was short and wretched. The tall and strong man looked quite charming. As for the short and wretched man, he was even uglier than below. He was thin and had big eyes like an alien. Especially his two whiskers, it reminded Wang Feng of a traitor. Little brats, I think you're still worried about yourselves. The short and wretched man let out a strange duck-like cry. You want to run after hitting someone? How dare you play such tricks in front of you hooligans? Below, this idiot is really trying to hunt a goose all day long, but he was pecked in the eye by the goose. The tall man could not help but let out a hoarse cry of ridicule. Old goose, Tianya, don't let this little brat. Baloo could not move at all. It was as if he had used up all the strength in his body to barely say a word. Ha, just in time. When Xiao Wu attacked just now, I thought I would have come out for nothing. Dai Mubai looked at the two of them, his eyes shining. Just now, he saw Xiao Wu attacking, who knew that Baloo did not even manage to hold on and fell to the ground. He could not even withstand a single blow. Now, there were two more. Boss Dai, Tang San, Fatty, quick, eat a mushroom sausage first. Oscar seemed to know that a big battle was about to be triggered, so he gave each of them a mushroom sausage. As Fatty had not recovered yet, he could only rely on Tang San, Dai Mubai, and Xiao Wu. Be careful, these two people should not be simple. Tang San looked at the two of them warily. The hidden weapon in his sleeve was emitting an intimidating light. His intuition told him that these two people were not simple. With the strength of the three of them, it was not difficult to deal with a soul master below level 50. If it was above level 50, it would be difficult. What are you afraid of? Wang Feng is still here. Ma Hongjun hurriedly walked to the side. He first kicked Baloo, then walked to Wang Feng's side. He slowly felt a sense of security. I'm injured. I can't use my strength now. End of this chapter. Chapter 151. At this moment, Wang Feng was sitting leisurely on a wooden barrel with his legs crossed. He didn't make the first move. These two were Soul Kings over rank 50. It was a good opportunity for Tang San and the others to gain some experience. Go! Tang San and the others immediately rushed forward. The leader was Dai Mubai. He instantly possessed his martial soul, and his body suddenly expanded as he attacked the two of them. Countless strands of blue-silver grass sprang out from the ground and wrapped around the two of them. Xiao Wu jumped onto the eaves at the side, seemingly waiting for an opportunity. Public morals are degenerating day by day. Now, even a few rank 30 brats dare to attack us. The short and wretched Tian, you couldn't help but sneer. His body shook, and 5 soul rings appeared. 1 white, 2 yellow, and 2 purple. A broken blade suddenly appeared in his hand. Be careful. He's a five-ringed Soul King. Tang San's pupils shrank as he was shocked. Swish, swish. Tian Yu wielded his broken blade and cut all the blue-silver grass into pieces. At the same time, 5 soul rings lit up on the tall man's body. Black fog spread out from his body, causing Dai Mubai to lose his target. I can't sense him. A 5-ringed Soul King? Dai Mubai directly released his white tiger's fierce light wave into the black fog, but it didn't have any effect. Purple demon eyes. Tang San's eyes flashed with a trace of purple. He looked at the black fog, but he didn't discover any information about his enemy. He couldn't help but be shocked. This martial soul was strange. This martial soul is also a little interesting. Wang Feng looked at where the two of them were. In the black fog, it could cause the enemy to lose their target and even block their senses. If there were 2 of them, it would be very effective. I'm afraid these 3 are at a disadvantage. Wang Feng thought for a moment and couldn't help but think. That tall martial soul was probably very effective against Tang San. At this moment, the black fog suddenly surged. They instantly surrounded Dai Mubai. Almost at this moment, Tang San had a bad premonition. He shouted at Xiao Wu, who was on the eaves, "Xiao Wu, don't go into the black fog. There's danger." Just as he finished speaking, several flashes of light came from the black fog. Following a few muffled groans, a figure flew out from inside. It was Dai Mubai. However, at this moment, Dai Mubai's body was covered with injuries. His arms were covered with cuts from sharp blades. I can't sense anything in that black fog. Dai Mubai supported himself with his hands on the ground as he ate the grilled sausages that Oscar passed him. He whispered, "That blade-wielding Soul King was very fast. My attacks were easily detected by them in the black fog, and I couldn't sense where the enemy was. Fortunately, I used the white tiger's protective barrier to block him." As he said that, Dai Mubai looked at his arm in relief. It was still emitting wisps of mist. "Mubai, you've been poisoned. The soul skill that Soul King used to hurt you is poisonous." Oscar. Tang San's face darkened. Soul Kings were indeed not easy to deal with. The difference in soul power was too great. Furthermore, the opponent's martial soul, especially that black fog, was not simple. The two of them worked together seamlessly. Once they were enveloped by the black fog, they would probably lose half their lives. Then there was only, "Fatty, you still have some strength, right? You and Mubai can use Phoenix Fireline and White Tiger's Fierce Light Wave to collide with the black fog. Try to blow that black fog away." Tang San thought about the divergent thinking that Big Brother Feng had talked about in the past 3 months. Soul skills could be combined with other soul skills. Not only could it be used on oneself, but it could also be used on one's teammates. "You've grown." Wang Feng nodded slightly. Tang San was smart. Although the black fog was strange, as long as they used a strong airflow to blow it away, they would definitely be able to reveal the 2 people inside. When the Phoenix Fireline and White Tiger's Fierce Light Wave collided with each other, they would be able to achieve this effect. When the time came, Tang San would use his blue-silver grass and his hidden weapons to defeat the enemy. Although Tang San had been training his hidden weapons for the past 3 months, he had never fallen behind in his hidden weapon skills. He even went to Soto City to create a tool similar to the Zhuge repeating crossbow. This was the request of Ning Rongrong on behalf of the 7 Treasure Glazed Tile sect. Although the method is not bad, it might not be effective. After all, these 2 people are Soul Kings that are over rank 50. Ma Hongjun and Dai Mubai stood up at the same time. Tang San first released a binding spiderweb towards the black fog to restrain it. When the binding spiderweb was cut into pieces by the evil figures in the black fog, 2 intense light waves, one white and one red, directly exploded in the black fog. In an instant, an intense shock wave erupted. The black fog indeed disappeared. 2 figures flashed. This was the moment. Countless hidden weapons shot out crazily from Tang San's body. Sleeve arrows, bone-penetrating nails, and crossbow bolts swarmed towards the 2 of them as soon as they appeared. Cold light flashed. However, the strange thing was that these hidden weapons which even rank 40 agility-type soul masters would not be able to dodge, were dodged by the two of them, as if they could predict the future. Seeing this, Tang Xin was slightly shocked. These two Soul Kings were over rank 50. No matter how strong their physiques were, it was impossible for them to dodge all of them. Moreover, his hidden weapons were so unexpected that almost no one had seen them before. They would definitely be at a disadvantage the first time, just like Zhao Wuji back then. What's going on? Dai Mubai was shocked. We can't dodge Tang San's hidden weapons. Moreover, if it's the first time we're attacked by these hidden weapons, we'll definitely be at a disadvantage. How did they? These people aren't fast. At this moment, Wang Feng said from the side, but the function of hidden weapons is to be hidden. This means that this item needs to be hidden in the dark, in a situation where no one is aware of it, to unleash its greatest power. Tang Xin has already been exposed to them, but they don't know about hidden weapons. They shouldn't be on guard against it. Ma Hongjun asked, why wouldn't they know? Wang Feng looked at Ma Hongjun. They might not have heard of hidden weapons, but what if they can see through Tang San's body? He knows all the hidden weapons that little 3 has hidden all over his clothes. Even if they don't know that it's a hidden weapon, they'll definitely be on guard against it. Hearing this, the few of them were stunned. At this moment, most of Tang San's hidden weapons had lost their effect. Only a few of them hit the two of them. However, they weren't in critical positions. Furthermore, the two of them were Soul Kings, so they weren't seriously injured. Fortunately, Old Goose's soul skill is here. Otherwise, it would have been easy for us to fall into their trap today. At this moment, the black fog rapidly reformed, and a sinister voice sounded. This brat with a blue-silver grass martial soul is covered in these incomparably sinister little things. It's a pity that Old Goose's see-through soul skill has the ability to see through everything. He already saw through everything on your body just now. End of this chapter. Chapter 152. X-ray vision. Hearing these two words, Xiao Wu, who had just landed on the ground, hurriedly hid behind Tang San's back. Damn, there's such a powerful soul skill. Ma Hongjun swallowed a mouthful of water. No wonder he could dodge Tang San's hidden weapon. He already knew about it and was prepared. Dai Mubai thought to himself. This soul skill was simply Tang San's nemesis. Tang San also furrowed his brows. The hidden weapons on his body were hidden all over his clothes, and other soul masters couldn't detect them. But if he had X-ray vision, it was simply his nemesis. Furthermore, if he wanted to use these hidden weapons at any time, he had to place them all over his body so that they could be activated in a timely manner. The 24 moonlit bridges could only be used to store and replenish various hidden weapons. If he controlled his soul power and took them out and activated them again, the effects would be greatly reduced. It's really my nemesis. Tang Xin couldn't help but shake his head. A soul skill like X-ray vision would have a somewhat vulgar effect on other soul masters, especially female soul masters. The rest could be used as side effects, but in a real fight, the usefulness wasn't obvious because it relied on one's martial soul and soul skill. But right now, it was really his nemesis. Once someone saw through his hidden weapons in advance and was prepared, it would be difficult for him to fall for it. If the difference in rank wasn't too great, he could still rely on his techniques and the strangeness of his hidden weapons to win. But his opponent was a Soul King after all. Unless he could forge an even more powerful hidden weapon. But Tang San didn't have the materials to forge that. You brats, you don't have any more moves, right? Tianya smiled like a drake. Complacent sneers could be heard from the black fog. But then, the two of them saw a strange scene. All of a sudden, the little brats took a step back. Brother Feng, these two guys are too despicable. Teach them a lesson. Xiao Wu giggled and walked behind Wang Feng with Tang San and the other two. Tang San also nodded. Wang Feng, just don't kill anyone. Ma Hongjun chuckled. These two Soul Kings are quite powerful. If the 7 of us are here, we should be able to defeat them. If there were 7 of them, these two Soul Kings over rank 50 might not be their match, especially with Ning Rongrong's help. Wang Feng jumped down from the barrel and walked towards the two. Oh, there was also a little brat. What kind of ability do you have? Take it out and let me have a look. Looking at the only boy among the five who had yet to make a move, Horizon could not help but smile. I'm very capable, Wang Feng said slowly. He walked towards the black fog step by step. Don't worry, I'll give it to you soon. With that, Wang Feng plunged into the black fog. Big brother Feng, are you going to just walk in like that? We'll be dangerous. Xiao Wu tugged at Tang San's sleeve. I don't think so. Mu Bai is a strength-type soul battle master and isn't good at agility. Entering the black fog is like being blindfolded. Naturally, his ending will be very long. It's the same for you. Your soul power is too strong, so you might not be able to sense it. Tang San shook his head. But Big Brother Feng is too fast. Do you remember last time? When you learned the 8-stage throw, you used teleportation to get close to Wang Feng. Before you could finish your first move, Big Brother Feng countered and threw you out. Xiao Wu was speechless. Xiao Wu tilted her head and thought for a moment. She giggled. I think it was me. I remember that Big Brother Feng didn't notice me at all during that battle. He was still entangled by the three of you. It seems that he relied on his instincts to break my 8-stage throw. Yeah, right at this moment, Horizon's strange laughter came from the black fog. You actually walked in obediently. You're really looking for trouble. Oh. Suddenly, before Tian you could say the word die, a voice suddenly rang out. Then, a series of crackling sounds burst out from the black fog. Everyone grimaced when they saw this. So miserable. Ma Hongjun touched his face as if recalling the scene when Wang Feng went berserk. It's a little miserable. Oscar glanced at it and felt that it was a little cruel. He quickly turned his head away. Serves you right. Xiao Wu watched with relish, although she could not see clearly what was happening inside. Big Brother Feng seems to have gotten stronger again, Tang San thought to himself. Although Wang Feng had said those words to Xiao Wu, it should have taken him some time to defeat the two of them inside the black fog. But now it seemed that it had ended very quickly. It seemed that he was much stronger than when he fought them normally. Tang San and Dai Mubai exchanged glances. As the strongest two of the seven, they naturally saw the clues. Of course, they did not know that Wang Feng was using second gear right now. He had temporarily hidden the mysterious underworld armor, and his physical attributes had increased by several times. Then, he was using the Void Realm that was supposed to be used for fifth gear. In this black fog, a soul master's vision was blurred and their senses were greatly reduced. If Wang Feng wanted to end the battle quickly, he would not use first gear. Instead, he used second gear. The moment Horizon attacked from the dark, he sent out a sense of danger and instantly entered the Void Realm. After entering the Void Realm, Wang Feng's senses were greatly enhanced, and the black fog's effect on him was completely weakened. Naturally, he caught Horizon and gave him a good beating. Boom! Tianya's figure was directly thrown out by Wang Feng. He landed at everyone's feet. His face was bruised and swollen. His originally thin and weak figure was beaten until his entire body was swollen. He even looked more well-proportioned. His entire body twitched from time to time. Too miserable. Ma Hongjun covered his eyes with his hand. He's a Tool Soul Master. If he was a Beast Soul Master, he might be able to take a beating. There's one more. Oh no, I think he's going to run away. At this time, Oscar pointed into the distance. After Horizon was beaten out by Wang Feng, the Soul King called Old Goose, who was the one who released the black fog, realized that something was wrong. The black fog slowly disappeared into the sky. It's not that easy to run away. Wang Feng's eyes flashed. The mysterious underworld armor appeared on his body. His soul power condensed into strands of hair and instantly activated the mysterious underworld spike. Swoosh, swoosh. Wang Feng's chest shook slightly, and several mysterious underworld spikes shot out. They pierced directly into the black fog. They were extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, everyone saw a pitch-black light flash past. A scream came from the black fog. Then, the black fog dissipated and Old Goose's tall figure fell out. Everyone was shocked to see this. What was that? A hidden weapon? Ma Hongjun stood up and said in surprise, "Third brother, the Monster King also knows how to use hidden weapons?" Tang Sen was also a little shocked. No, it wasn't a hidden weapon. Brother Feng didn't have the posture to use hidden weapons. His body didn't move much. His body only shook slightly. How could he use hidden weapons? He didn't know where the hidden weapons came from. Tang Sen didn't know that the mysterious underworld spike was controlled by soul power. After it was shot out, the soul power didn't disappear. Furthermore, the mysterious underworld spike was an external soul bone. It had a connection with its master. It wasn't a pure hidden weapon. It was a dead object that could be controlled. After the black light passed through the black fog, it instantly returned to Wang Feng's chest and fell into the mysterious underworld armor. End of chapter. Chapter 153. The Xianming armor's concealment ability was too strong. Even if the old goose saw the Xianming armor with his X-ray vision, he wouldn't have thought that this pitch-black armor was formed from tens of thousands of Xianming spikes. I've never seen it before either. Tang San shook his head. After hearing Tang San's words, everyone thought to themselves, how much is Wang Feng hiding? He didn't seem to use it much when he fought with us. He didn't even use the soul skills and techniques that he used against Teacher Zhao. At this moment, Tang San looked at the old goose, and his pupils shrank. What strong corrosiveness! The old goose's feet and shoulders were covered in rotting flesh. If not for the fact that the old goose was still using his soul power to resist, he would have been dead by now. I wonder where Big Brother Feng's hidden weapon came from. From the position, it seems to be the chest. Is there a mechanism? Tang San furrowed his brow. Hidden weapons wouldn't be placed in places that weren't easy to control unless there was a mechanism that could be triggered. Furthermore, it's very penetrative, it's very fast, and terrifyingly corrosive. If it's really a hidden weapon, it's at least comparable to the hidden weapons on the rankings. Tang San whispered, "It's very concealment." Even the old goose couldn't detect it with his X-ray vision. Tang San felt that this hidden weapon wasn't inferior to the hidden weapons on the rankings in the Xiantian treasure record. At this moment, Tang San didn't know what the black light that Wang Feng released were. "Let's go." Wang Feng clapped his hands and said to everyone. The Xianming spike didn't disappoint Wang Feng. It was still very strong. Against a rank 50 Soul King, there was no way he could resist. Furthermore, because he was connected to the Xianming spike, he could control it with his spiritual power. However, the further he was, the weaker the effect. Coupled with his soul power, he could almost instantly kill his opponent. This was the effect of a 30,000-year soul bone. Furthermore, as the Xianming armor became heavier, more Xianming spikes would be produced. They didn't ask any more questions and followed Wang Feng back. After this incident, the vacation of the 7 of them ended very quickly. In fact, even if they were on vacation, the 7 of them who were used to high-intensity training would still take some time to do simple training so that their bodies wouldn't have any adverse effects if they suddenly walked out of high-intensity training. Over the past 7 days, Zhu Zhuqing, who was extremely eager to become stronger, had sought out Wang Feng or the masters alone, wanting to strengthen their training or engage in combat training. In comparison, Ning Rongrong would often take Xiao Wu shopping in Soto City. She was very happy and relaxed when she needed to. Sometimes, Tang Sen would find Wang Feng alone for special warfare training. As for Ma Hongjun, Dai Mubai, and Oscar, other than maintaining their basic training, they also chose to relax and strike a balance between work and rest. Wang Feng had also been in the academy for the past 7 days. He did not go out at all, which could be considered as giving himself a little rest. As for Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San's battle request, if he was in the mood, he would agree to play with them. If he was not in the mood, he would refuse. He did not want the 2 of them to train all day long. It's the last day. The second phase of the master's training should start tomorrow. On this day, in the square, Wang Feng looked at the tired Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San, who was on the other side, and waved his hand. Forget about the next battle. Don't think about fighting all day long. You're not happy to have a holiday. Zhu Zhuqing rested for a while, then walked up to Wang Feng and asked, "What's the second phase of the training?" The battle just now was not fierce. It only made her face a little redder. She did not even sweat much, which made her extra charming. Tang San also walked over and asked curiously. In the past 3 months, the 7 of them knew that Wang Feng had also participated in the training and would occasionally train with them. The second phase of the master's training. Of course, they would tell Wang Feng in advance. What's the hurry? You'll know when the time comes. Wang Feng looked into the distance. They're all here. The remaining people in the distance seemed to know that their vacation was about to end. They all came to the square after receiving the master's order. Wow, third brother, how can you and Zhu Qing train in secret? Ning Rongrong saw the 2 of them from afar. She went to Soto City to have a big meal today, so she immediately walked over. Wang Feng, we asked you to play with us just now, but you refused. Is it because you want to help them train? In the past 3 months, Ning Rongrong's feelings for Wang Fengxin were extremely complicated. She could not explain it clearly. She was a little scared, mainly because she was scared of being beaten. However, when she saw that the 7 of them did not win against Wang Feng and could only delay the time and tie the fight, she felt some admiration in her heart. There was also another indescribable feeling. Sometimes when he was not in the academy, she really wanted to see him. But when he really showed up, she was a little scared when they were fighting. In short, she wanted to see Wang Feng, but she was afraid of being beaten up. It was not easy to have these 7 days, but she was pestered by Zhu Qing and Tang San, who did not really want to rest to continue training. She did not want to train with Wang Feng. Training was to be beaten up. Although Wang Feng could help her recover every time, Ning Rongrong wanted to go out for a meal and go shopping together. At least the 2 of them could be alone, talk, and chat. However, there was no chance. It's time to take a break. Your second special training is about to begin. Exercise in advance and warm up. It's also good for your second stage of training. At this time, the master came from afar. His calm voice made everyone stand up. Wang Feng glared at Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong stuck out her tongue at him and snorted. In these 3 months, your bodies have become slightly stronger. The battle with Wang Feng has also made you more tacit. I think I don't need to say more about this. The master looked at everyone. Everyone. The tacit understanding was quite good. It was the tacit understanding of being beaten up. Now, I will tell you the content of the second stage of training. For words, Great Soul Arena. Next, all of your training will be in the Great Soul Arena in Soto City. So, I think you all understand, right? The master continued to say slowly. Wang Fengxin on the side secretly thought, isn't it because the academy is out of money? After 3 months of high-intensity training, Shrek Academy, which wasn't rich to begin with, naturally became poor. Therefore, the master also took this opportunity to carry out the second stage of training. He could also earn gold coins through the Great Soul Arena. The Great Soul Arena was a real treasure bowl. And the training in the Great Soul Arena will last for a long time, until each of you has a Silver Warrior Spirit Badge. End of this chapter. Chapter 154. The master glanced at Wang Feng and said at the same time, you also need to have the Silver Battle Soul Badge for team battles. 3 months with only Wang Feng and you guys as sparring partners is not enough. You still need to fight with more soul masters. You need to experience more soul skills and martial souls and learn more skills. Only by truly understanding and fighting with other soul master teams can I help you improve faster. Wang Feng nodded repeatedly. Indeed, fighting with him all the time, in addition to increasing the body's resistance, the improvement would be limited. Unless he turned into a hexagonal soul master with long range, strong attack, agility, control, recovery, amplification, and many other skills. But 7 people couldn't support him in his 4th gear. The training effect would also be greatly reduced. Oscar, Ning Rongrong, the same goes for you too. If you don't like the Silver Battle Soul Badge, then find a better partner. Next, you guys are free to find a team. After you find a team, I will talk about the next step. The master coughed a few times and glanced at the 2 auxiliary-type soul masters. My third brother is already in a team. Xiao Wu pulled Tang San's arm. Then, Oscar found Dai Mubai. Ma Hongjun wanted to find Ning Rongrong, but he was interrupted as soon as he opened his mouth. Fourth brother, don't look for me. I have already made a reservation. You are so strong that you can do it alone. Who did you make a reservation for? Ma Hongjun was stunned and counted. Only 7 people. Ning Rongrong smiled and walked to Wang Feng. Of course it's Wang Feng. He is the strongest. I'm an auxiliary-type soul master. Of course I have to find a powerful one. Zhu Zhuqing at the side. After a moment of silence, Zhu Zhuqing said, Wang Feng and I are already in a team. Ning Rongrong was stunned. Only then did she remember that when they first entered the academy, they temporarily formed a team. It seemed to be called Qing Feng. Wow, cheating. Ma Hongjun seemed to remember it and couldn't help but say, how can this be? It's impossible to lose with Wang Feng. Master, I object. Zhu Zhuqing suddenly nodded and said, but in truth, Wang Feng did not do anything. I was the one who did it. For the past 3 months, whenever Wang Feng returned to the academy, Zhu Zhuqing would look for him to fight in the soul arena. This technique was very rare, only about 10 times in total. When Zhu Zhuqing was alone, she would sometimes lose. But when the two of them fought, she would always win. Her wins and losses offset each other. Unknowingly, she now had the highest points among the 7 of them. He was almost a bronze warrior soul. Wang Feng, on the other hand, didn't have much interest. The Great Soul Dueling Arena allowed one to fight above their level, so he only accompanied Zhu Zhuqing and didn't participate in the individual battles. Even if the 2 of them were to fight, he would almost never make a move. Instead, he would watch from the side and give advice to Zhu Zhuqing, unless she encountered a stronger opponent. Only then would they use deified skills. How many points do you have now? Dai Mubai asked. 92 points. Zhu Zhuqing glanced at Wang Feng. 92? Almost a copper warrior soul? How many times have you been there in the past 3 months? Oscar asked exaggeratedly. Usually we're so tired that we lie down and fall asleep when we return to the dormitory. Do you still have the strength to go? Wang Feng, how dare you secretly give 7th sister special treatment? Master, they are cheating, Ning Rongrong said unhappily. She was even more upset. Although they only fought a few rounds and Wang Feng didn't make a move, nothing could have happened. But she didn't know about this. 7th sister wants to become stronger. It's reasonable for her to look for Wang Feng. Dai Mubai shook his head. Even I secretly look for Wang Feng for individual training. When he returns to the academy, he has a lot of time. 6th sister, you are the one who doesn't take the initiative. Ning Rongrong was angry. Every time Wang Feng came back, he would beat her up. Then, he would be exhausted. I am an auxiliary-type soul master. My physical strength is limited. Do you think I'm like you who have beast martial souls? Besides, I'm an auxiliary-type soul master. How can I train? Cough, cough, let's do it this way. Let's temporarily remove the team with Zhu Zhuqing. You and Zhu Zhuqing can be a team, and I'll be a team with Ma Hongjun. Let's see his progress. Wang Feng thought for a moment and said. After speaking, Zhu Zhuqing frowned slightly, but she didn't refuse. She wouldn't object to anything Wang Feng said. At this time, Wang Feng continued. Or we can establish a new team. My martial soul has 3 forms and can be formed into 3 different combinations. Hearing this, several people's eyes lit up. The Great Soul Arena's ancestral book seemed to be based on martial soul and rank. Identity and name were not very important. They could use aliases or code names. This is a good way. The master's eyes lit up. If you 2 go on stage, you can teach them. And with different forms of your martial soul, there are indeed many opportunities to change. For example, use the auxiliary ability Golden Lotus to assist Zhu Zhuqing. Use the offensive Red Lotus and Ning Rongrong, or use the defensive Black Lotus and Ma Hongjun as a team. You can even use 3 different identities to confuse others. Identity and nickname, and then disguise a little. This idea was very novel. Ning Rongrong's face immediately brightened. That's good. I have already thought of the name of the combination. Well, Wang Feng's martial soul's original form is the Azure Lotus, and my martial soul is the 7 Treasures Glazed Pagoda, so we'll call it the Azure Treasure combination. It's nice and easy to remember. Wang Feng, Azure Treasure. This name, why is it a bit strange? Then Wang Feng and I will be called the Dominating Sky combination. Ma Hongjun smiled. Dominating Sky? What a strange and unpleasant name. Ning Rongrong gave him a disgusted look. You don't understand. This is called a man's romance. Ma Hongjun said. Wang Feng. Bullshit man's romance. Isn't it just Chinibyu? Wang Feng was speechless, but then he remembered that these people seemed to be only 12 or 13 years old. It was indeed the age of Chinibyu. Next, I will give you your respective code names. In the future, use your own code names in the Great Soul Arena. Not long after, the master gave them code names. Evil White Tiger Dai Mu Bai, Thousand Hands Azura Tang San, Softbone Demon Rabbit Xiao Wu, Seven Treasures Glazed Pagoda Ning Rong Rong, Nether Civet Zhu Zhu Qing, Evil Fire Phoenix Ma Hongjun, and Sausage Specialist Oscar. By the way, Wang Feng, you have 3 combinations, so you may have to choose 3 nicknames. Finally, the master looked at Wang Feng. Nicknames? I have already chosen them. Wang Feng said with a smile. The combination with Zhu Zhu Qing will be called Thor. The one with Ma Hongjun will be called Thanos. Thanos? Damn, this sounds amazing. Ma Hongjun's eyes lit up. Awesome. This name is too good. I like it. What about mine? Ning Rongrong asked hurriedly. Wang Feng glanced at her and said thoughtfully, the last one with Ning Rongrong is also my main code name. Let's call it Monster Captain. Everyone, end of this chapter. Chapter 155. Monster Captain. This name was strange and had an indescribable meaning, but sounded very smooth. Ha ha ha, interesting. Among these monsters, you are indeed the captain. The master laughed a few times, which was rare. Although you're not among the 7 of them, it's good that others don't know that there will be a monster captain above Shrek's group in the future. Hearing what the master said, everyone figured out the strangeness of this name. Well, I will make a mask for each of you. Remember, in the Great Soul Arena in the future, you must speak as little as possible and don't expose your identity. The master took out 7 masks and handed them to the 7 people. Wang Feng had several masks. His camouflage technique had improved rapidly in the past few years. Usually, when he went out to fight, Wang Feng would change several identities and masks. Whenever he thought of the fight he had with Qian Rinxue in the Great Soul Arena, Wang Feng was worried that this extremely special female villain in the original work would miss him. Coupled with the uniqueness of his humanoid martial soul, if she found out that he had a martial soul that was opposite to the 6-winged angel martial soul, he was afraid that it would attract the attention of the Martial Soul Palace. So Wang Feng was particularly concerned about camouflage. To put it bluntly, given some time, Wang Feng could dress Ning Rongrong up as Ma Hongjun. Acquaintances may be able to detect it, but strangers would definitely not be able to tell. In this way, Master Flender, Zhao Wuji, and the 8 people came to the Great Soul Arena in Soto City again. This would be their second training place in the future. The 8 people dressed differently, plus the mysterious feeling brought by the masks. When they appeared at the entrance of the Great Soul Arena, it caused a lot of commotion. After coming to the Great Soul Arena, the 8 people first went to register their groups and then change their names. Wang Feng used the 3 forms and ranks of his martial soul to register and get 3 tokens. Different names? Probably no one would think of this situation. I am an auxiliary-type soul master. Forget about the one-on-one battle. I will go to the 2-on-2 battle with Wang Feng first. Xiao Wu, 3rd brother. Do you want to go together? Ning Rongrong stood beside Wang Feng, a little happy in her heart, but her face was indifferent. Fortunately, she had a mask. Of course, let's go together. Then you guys have a one-on-one battle first. Xiao Wu waved at Dai Mubai and the others. The 2 teams walked towards the 2-on-2 soul dueling area together, followed by the Grandmaster. This was because there would be a few 2v2 matches later on. Not long after, the 2 teams were assigned to the 13th soul dueling arena. Coincidentally, the 3-5 team was right in front of them. Wang Feng and Ning Rongrong's Qing Bao team was in the next round. How are we going to fight later? This is my first time participating in a tournament. Ning Rongrong was a little excited. Of course it's you. Do you want me to take action? Wang Feng said. Wait, shouldn't you be saying that? Ning Rongrong was stunned. I'm an auxiliary type soul master. Wang Feng laughed. An auxiliary type soul master can carry a 15-kilogram rock and run from the academy to Soto City 10 times? In the past 3 months, she had learned how to cultivate and run at the same time as Wang Feng taught her. Their running with weights had improved greatly. Ning Rongrong used to run a round trip with 5 kilograms on her back before collapsing. Now, she could run 10 rounds with 15 kilograms on her back without collapsing. If she was in his previous life, she would be a tough girl. Ning Rongrong. I don't want to. I'm a girl. You're going to fight later. Hee hee. I want to see you defeat your opponent. I'll just eat snacks at the side. Ning Rongrong shook her head, and her tone was a little coquettish. That won't do. I'll throw you out directly later. Wang Feng shook his head. Maybe you'll go out and fight by yourself. Ning Rongrong glared at Wang Feng, thinking you won't do that. You're just saying. Not long after, Tang San and Xiao Wu easily defeated the cat and mouse team that had won 4 consecutive matches. Rongrong, Brother Feng, you can do it. Xiao Wu walked up. She seemed to be a little excited after the fight. Next, let's invite the Qing Bao team to fight the Yu and Yin team, who have already won 7 matches in a row in the Seoul Elder level competition. The Yu and Yin team has a mysterious origin, but they have already won 7 matches in a row in the Seoul Elder level competition. I didn't expect that this time they would meet the newly established Qing and Bao team. This is really surprising. Let's invite the 2 of you to bring us a wonderful duel in the Great Seoul Arena. The host of the CCTV walked down. For silhouettes, slowly walked out from below. 7 matches in a row. Xiao Wu couldn't help but be curious. Is this Yu and Yin team as mysterious as us? Brother, Master, look, they also seem to be wearing masks, so mysterious. Tang Sen looked at them and couldn't help but feel amazed. In the Seoul Arena, the Yu and Yin team was also a man and a woman. The man was wearing a blue suit with long black hair and a slender figure. He used a dragon mask to cover himself. Next to him was a woman with dark purple short hair. Her hands were gently placed on the man's body. Her dark green nails gave people a strange feeling. She was a little lazy and didn't seem to be very interested in this match. These 2 people, the master frowned, and his gaze fell on the man. Why are they here? Master, you know these 2 people. Tang Sen asked curiously. Tang San's intuition told him that these 2 were experts. He could vaguely sense their auras. The master said, it's just a guess. It shouldn't be wrong. I hope Lin Feng and Rongrong can be safe. Hearing this, Tang San and Xiao Wu were taken aback. The master was very clear about the strength of the 2. Even he said such words. This showed that the strength of these 2 people was not simple. Under the Seoul Arena. Oh, the same as us? The woman in the Yu and Yin team, seeing Wang Feng and Ning Rongrong come out, couldn't help but let out a low laugh. Tianheng, you don't need me to do it, right? The man nodded slightly. It seemed that the 2 came here to play. Seeing this, the woman took a few steps back, intending to let her lover do it himself. She just watched from the side. Attach! The man snorted, and 3 soul rings lit up from his body. Yellow, yellow, purple. At the same time, faint green scales began to slowly appear on his skin, especially on his arms, but he was wearing a blue suit, so it was almost impossible to see. Only the back of his palm had some scales, which looked very strange. They seemed to be very strong. Ning Rongrong looked at the man and woman opposite her, and instinctively felt that these 2 people were not simple. Wang Feng, you have to protect me later. I will give you a buff. It wasn't until the man finished attaching that Ning Rongrong understood something, and her face changed again. No. Wang Feng shook his head and said, later, you have to go up and fight with him yourself. I will watch from the side. Hearing this, Ning Rongrong's eyes suddenly widened. Wang Feng, he is a Seoul Elder over the 30th rank. Looking at the configuration of his soul rings, he seems to be very strong. How do you want me to fight with him? I am an auxiliary type. Moreover, his martial soul seems to be a dragon. It's a dragon, Ning Rongrong whispered. I may know who this person is. He is very strong. Even Boss Dai may not be able to beat him. End of this chapter. Chapter 156. The other party's martial soul possession was very fast, but Ning Rongrong could see some of it. It was the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon. This man was from the Blue Lightning Tyrant family. She didn't know why he was here. Why do you care what kind of dragon he is? Wang Feng leaned closer to Ning Rongrong and laughed softly. Rongrong, let me show you something new. Ning Rongrong looked at Wang Feng in a daze. It was the first time she heard Wang Feng call her Rongrong. She felt sweet and a little dazed. What new? Anyway, I won't fight with him. 5 of me won't be enough. Do you know about martial soul fusion skills? Wang Feng lowered his voice. Wait, look at my golden lotus form. Use your 7 treasures glazed pagoda to fuse with my golden lotus and give you the strongest state. Martial soul fusion skill. Ning Rongrong was stunned when she heard these words. But martial soul fusion skill. Even if 2 martial souls are the same, they may not be able to fuse. It requires a certain degree of complementation and compatibility. Ning Rongrong tilted her head and thought about the knowledge taught by the master. The 7 treasures glazed pagoda didn't seem to find a complementing martial soul with high compatibility. Moreover, the effect of martial soul fusion skill was not as simple as 1 + 1 greater than 2, or the effect of 2 soul masters adding together. What was even more bizarre was the degree of compatibility, which was the most mysterious. However, Wang Feng merely smiled. The primal chaos green lotus was a supreme thing. It was the beginning of the chaos, and after the heaven and earth evolved, everything was after it. How could there be no compatibility? Complementing? The dignified primal chaos green lotus complemented everything. To put it bluntly, any form of the primal chaos green lotus, especially the golden lotus form, was compatible with any martial soul. Although Wang Feng hadn't tested it, he could definitely use martial soul fusion skills. Listen to me, let's try. Wang Feng's indifferent voice sounded. Ning Rongrong blushed and suddenly became a little obedient. Then what should I do? I have no experience in this kind of thing. You can't mess around. Release your martial soul and place your 7 treasures glazed pagoda on my golden lotus. Then look at me with your eyes. Wang Feng said in a deep voice. Wang Feng had long wanted to try out a fusion skill. As for Ning Rongrong's 7 treasures glazed pagoda, it was the best choice because it was also a support. Ning Rongrong's 2 soul rings slowly lit up, and she slowly released the 7 treasures glazed pagoda in her hands. 7 treasures glazed pagoda? Are you from the 7 treasure glazed tile sect? When the man on the opposite side saw the other party reveal her martial soul, he couldn't help but feel a little interested. It's a pity that she's only over level 20. It seems that the man beside her should be the main attacker, right? It's actually over rank 20. That man has a purple soul ring? Why is he only lighting up one? The woman watched in boredom. That's not right. Why is the main attacker's martial spirit a little golden flower? The main attacker was not a tool martial spirit or a beast martial spirit. Is he a control type martial spirit? The 2 of them seemed to be quite interested in what the 2 people on the opposite side wanted to do. At this moment, Wang Feng revealed his golden lotus. Ning Rongrong carefully controlled her 7 treasures glazed pagoda and sat on the lotus platform. Then, she gently looked at Wang Feng. The moment her 7 treasures glazed pagoda sat on the lotus platform, she felt as if she was sitting on Wang Feng's body. This was purely Ning Rongrong's imagination. It's really possible. Wang Feng didn't feel that way. His eyes were fixed on Ning Rongrong. Through her watery eyes, he felt as if he could see Ning Rongrong's heart. Immediately after, an intense light ray. With a bang, the 2 martial souls were released in an instant. The huge energy wave shocked the entire audience. This is a martial soul fusion skill. In the stands, Grandmaster suddenly clapped his hands and watched with incomparable shock. A martial soul fusion skill is very dangerous. If two people's martial souls don't have an extremely high degree of compatibility, or even if two people don't have a certain bond, they won't be able to perform a martial soul fusion. I didn't expect Lin Feng to be able to perform a martial soul fusion skill with Rongrong. Rare, too rare. Master had only seen a martial soul fusion skill a few times in his life. This martial soul fusion skill was really rare. It was like in the world, your partner accompanied you through primary school, junior high school, university, into society, into the hall of marriage, and finally to grow old together. In Wang Feng's previous life, this kind of situation was almost impossible to see because there were too many twists and turns in a person's life. It was the same for martial souls. If you wanted to find a perfect match with a high compatibility, it was very rare. It would only be possible to achieve it after a lot of practice. Martial soul fusion skill? Tang San and Xiao Wu felt the same way, their eyes filled with incomparable shock. This must be Lin Feng's idea. Only he would be so bold. Master's tone was slightly fluctuating. His golden lotus form includes almost all aspects of support, and Rongrong's Seven Treasures Glazed Pagoda is also a support. I really don't know what kind of changes will happen when these two fuse. Unbelievable. Master looked at the two's huge martial soul fusion skill. On the golden lotus, surrounded by lightning, there was a glazed pagoda that was overflowing with colorful lights. It was extremely beautiful. It's done. The two were wrapped in this martial soul. Ning Rongrong looked at Wang Feng, but Wang Feng looked at the fused martial soul fusion skill and thought to himself, it seems that I could try a martial soul fusion skill with others in the future. The success with Ning Rongrong meant that it would be possible with others. But Ning Rongrong didn't think so. My martial soul and Wang Feng's martial soul are so compatible. Then wouldn't he and I also? Rongrong, after the fusion, the martial soul will be called Glazed Golden Lotus. What do you think? Wang Feng asked with a smile. Ning Rongrong's mind was in a daze at this time, so she just nodded. Next, I will give you the power of the martial soul fusion. Go and try to fight with him. After Wang Feng finished speaking, he urged the power of the glazed golden lotus to fall on Ning Rongrong's body. The next moment, the colorful lights with lightning-like energy fell on Wang Feng's body like a rainbow-colored waterfall. The next moment, the whole audience was stunned. At this time, although Ning Rongrong's face was still covered by the mask, her whole body was emitting an aura like a goddess descending to the mortal world. Even her clothes were rippling with a layer of rainbow-colored golden light. The skin that was slightly exposed was sparkling and translucent, as if it was emitting a glass-like luster. Fortunately, she didn't take off her mask. If she took it off, she was afraid that everyone would be stunned. Ning Rongrong only felt a warm and gentle energy from the glazed golden lotus controlled by Wang Feng into her body, as if her body was full of strength. The world seemed so clear. She could even hear the shocked words of the Grandmasters from 100 meters away. As far as her eyes could see, she could see the shock in the eyes of the man opposite her, the man from the Blue Lightning Tyrant sect, and the scales on the back of his claws slightly moved because of the shock. End of this chapter. That you're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.